This is for the ones who were raised on gasoline dreams, for the lug nuts holding tight to the wild red line scenes, for the families, the divers, the wrench turning crews, for the chrome, the smoke, and the ones who refuse to lose. Where horsepower meets heart, yeah, that's who we are. We're a culture, we're a brotherhood, we are rolling motor fire. Build not borrowed, that's the creed written deep in our veins. We turn busted cars into legends and rust into fame. From late night garage grind to race day stadium roars, every scar on our knuckles unlocked 1,000 doors. We don't back down, we don't break, we don't fold. Every ride we build tells a story worth gold. This is for the ones who were raised on gasoline trains, for the lug nuts holding tight to the wild red line scenes, for the families, the drivers, the wrench turning crews, for the chrome, the smoke, and the ones who refuse to lose. Where horsepower meets heart, yeah, that's who we are. We're a culture, we're a brotherhood, we are rolling motor fire. Here's to the nights when the world said slow down, but the engine said no and we stood our ground. To the ones who grew up rich and when the rest took the easy way, we found our path in the piston noise and we'll ride it every day. Pedal to the metal, this is where we belong. Cars, trucks, monster trucks, loud and strong. Passion, pride, lug nuts, side by side. If you love what you drive, then ride, ride, ride. This is for the legends that started in dusty garages, for the kids who chase dreams through the scars and collages, for the racers who gave everything without fail, and the fans who stand proud when the engines wail. Where horsepower meets heart, yeah, this ain't a phase. It's our passion, our culture, and we'll live it to the grave. Pedal to the metal, forever in our veins. So look out, we're only getting louder from here. Nothing built strong was ever built out of fear. The road is wide open and the fire won't slow, because this isn't a hobby, this is the only life we know. Pedal down, heads high. We're not done. Pedal down, heads high. Pedal down. Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. You're listening to Pedal to the Metal, Motors and Music, the show where horsepower, stories, and great music come together. From beautiful collector classics to fire-breathing race cars to the ground-shaking thunder of monster trucks, this is where the world of motors meets the power of music. So strap in tight, fire up, and grab your favorite cold drink, because a ride is about to begin. And now, here's your host, Roller.
Hey, 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 what's up? What's up? How y'all doing? What's up, man? Ooh, hot microphone, hot mic, hot mic. Hey, we're all out here having fun tonight, man. Tonight, pedal to the metal, motors and music. All right. Hey, good to see you guys, man. Where's my route? Oh, there you guys are. There's my rowdies down there, all three of them. I call them Winkin', Blinkin', and Nod. Hello, Carter, Chiffon, how are you? What's up, guys? How you doing out there, man? How's everybody up in the mezzanine? Good to see you guys, man. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you guys, man, so much. Please. And you down here, thank you. You guys are more than kind. Oh, that's awesome. Let's keep it for the superstar, JR. What do you think, huh? He's the superstar. Yeah, I'm just roller. That's all I am. That is all that I am, is just roller, man. I'm just here to host the show and talk to my lug nuts. That's all I'm here to do, man. We're gonna let JR tell us about his stories and stuff. But thank you guys very much. We got a great show tonight, man. And I did a song for my buddy. He's on here now, Kevin Dickey, and he really inspired me. That song inspired me to really write a couple more songs, man. And I think I got some really good music tonight. I really like it. It's a little different, but I like it a lot. Of course, it's about hot rods and stuff like that. But man, it's just some stuff that like came to me. I was doing Kevin's song, and I just got really inspired, man. It's just, oh, Carter, I love you too, baby girl. I've known Carter for so long, man. She's like my daughter, man. I just love her to death. But anyway, it's good to see everybody in here. Kevin Dickey, how you doing? Peace, my brother. Peace. And then we got Cousin Debbie in here, man. What's up, Cuz? How you doing, man? How's it going? And then we got my girl Carter in here. We'll be busy with some more people in here a little later on. But you know what, man? Where did March go, guys? I mean, it's gone. This is the last one of the month. And then it's history. E to B to B. That's it, folks. You know what I mean? But tonight, like I said, we got J.R. Adams on the show. And it's going to be a good show, man. It really is. It's going to be a great show. And I really look forward to talking to JR, because it's been probably, I don't know, it's been 7 or 8 years since I worked with JR, maybe even longer. And I think our last show was in Pikeville, Kentucky. And that's just a little hole in the wall, man. Just a little hole in the wall. But they got a really nice arena there and stuff. And so we got to hang out and do shows together, man. I got to meet his boy and stuff. So we're going to be talking a little bit about everything. But hey, the car show in Pueblo on May 31st, man, is full. We're full up. No more room. Now, I say no more room right now, but I have to go down there after the 9th, and I am going down there and kind of measure the spots. We might be able to squeeze 35 in there, but I'm not sure. I'm a little worried right now with 30, so I have got to talk to the lady Ellie, who owns Seppi's Breads, Seppi's Chala Breads. I have to talk to her, and we have to really basically see if we can take. She wants to leave some spots open for her customers. Well, I want to move her customers parking out on the not on the curb in the street, but there's a spot between the sidewalk and the curbing that her customers could park. And I just don't want people that's never been around classic cars driving in there and running into somebody's $100,000 car, because if we have some people that are going to show up, there's going to be a couple $100,000 cars there, man. And I'm really excited. I really am excited. So May 31st in Pueblo, Colorado, 131 Broadway Avenue, the home of Bob Richards, A1 Auto Sales in the 60s and the mid 60s to the early 70s. And I am so excited. I ran around this lot when I was a little kid, and my job was to take this box and push it out, do the windows, talk to the customers, see what they wanted. I could pump the gas, but there was other guys there that did it and stuff. So they filled it up. But that's back when you lifted the hood, you checked the tires, you did all that stuff, man. And I used to have to tell them, "Welcome to Bob Richards A1 Auto Sales, the standard service. How can I help you today?" And I was like the man, dude. I was the man. I really was. Or I thought it was anyway. But we had the car lot, we had the standard oil service, and we had the wrecker service all in this location. And it was the home of my dad's first business adventure by himself because he worked at the Chevrolet store for umpteen years, grew up driving trucks and stuff like that. And good job, Debbie. Thank you very much. But he was a truck driver as a young kid. He did everything. Hello, Dave Gross. What's up, my brother? Anyway, we're gonna we're gonna go down there. It's kind of a full circle for me. I get to go down and hang out at a location that really means a lot to me. I've dedicated my truck, my C10, to this location. That's where I think it's a tribute. Yeah, that's where I attribute all my learnings, man, of the car business and stuff like that. It was right here in this building, and I can't wait. It's still the old original Standard Oil service. Dave Gross, my pops owned a '76 station back in the '60s. Yeah, Dave. So you know what I'm talking about. You know how cool it was. I mean, and I was a young kid, and I really didn't really realize how cool it is. I have a little gas-powered Shriner car. If anybody knows what those are, they're like a little Model T. They call them 10 Lizzies, and I still have that car to this day. It's sitting in my shop out in the roller dome. Me and my little sister, we used to be in parades, and we'd advertise my dad's business, and we'd throw candy, and boy, I'd do the figure eights, and I'd do all that other stuff, man. And she'd throw the candy and stuff out, and it was just a blast, man. It was just such a good time on the Mesa Junction Day parade right up there. And we did a lot of other parades. We did the Apple Blossom in Canyon City, the Pioneer Day Parade in Florence, and I think we went down to Fowler one time and done a parade down there, but I'm not really sure. But April, man, April is big. April's already full. We have no more spots. We're going to have the Young Guns of Auctioneering on the very first part of the show. And then we're going to jump in and we're going to talk the second half to some hot rod builders and monster truck drivers and monster truck announcers. We're going to talk to a musician that's local here and stuff. But on Wednesday the 1st, we have Mike Johnson. He's a custom hot rod builder, and he's going to be on the show, and that's a Wednesday. And then Sunday the 5th, we have Mr. Scott Goodyew. He's going to be on. We're going to be talking about the Young Guns, and they're going to hang out. And Scott has mentored all these guys. Scott's a two-time world auctioneer champion, man. The boy can get it. I mean, I can get it, but I can't get it like this boy gets it, man. My tongue get tied into a knot, man. But anyway, that's going to be a good one. We're going to talk about these young guns coming up. These are the young guys that are going to be taking our spots one day, man. And some of them are, excuse me, some of them are really back in the day. They're really good, man. They take after their dads. Like our first one is going to be Chris Miller. Chris grew up in the auction business down in a little eastern town down here in Colorado, and man, he's been around cattle business all of his life, and Chris has got it going on. And then of course we got Blake Sherman on the 12th, and Blake is another one. Now Blake has went to he started working for Barrett Jackson now, and he holds the record. His first car out at the Barrett Jackson sale this year was maybe a mid '80s big old huge boat Cadillac, but it was really low miles, really in great shape. And I think he made it do like 90 some $1,000, man. It was amazing. He set a record for Barrett Jackson, and the boy takes after his dad and stuff. And them Shermans, they got it in them, man. The whole family's in the auction business, and so it's going to be good to have Blake on. And then on the 8th, we got my brother. This guy's going to be so fun, man. He's a fellow announcer. He traveled the road same as I did. He's on here tonight, and his name is Dave Gross, man. And just to be able to talk to him. And I heard about him, through all my career. I knew who he was, never did talk to him, never ran into him. And then he started hanging out, watching the shows and stuff. And I was like, I wonder if that's the real Dave Gross that I know or that I heard of. And sure enough, it was, man. And we've kind of talked since now and then. And, you know, he's had his battles with that big C word, which I hate, which sucks because cancer sucks. Anyway, but he's doing good now, and it's going to be great to have him on. And then, of course, Chris Miller's going to be on before him, and he's a young gun. And then on the 19th, we're going to have Wes Lamb of the Young Guns. And Wes's dad, Randy, I've known Randy since I've been a little guy. We used to sell cars up in Denver, and Randy was one of the auctioneers. And my dad and my mom and I would take cars up to Denver all the time and work the auctions. I never thought I was going to be an auctioneer, but I finally became an auctioneer when I went down to Texas. And then when I come back up here, I worked underneath Randy, and that's like that's like working under I don't know, General Patton, I guess. I don't know, because it was a lesson, man. It was definitely a lesson, and I had already been an auctioneer, but they started you out on the floor and stuff like that. So anyway, so we're going to be talking to Wes, and he's Randy's youngest son, and then we're going to be talking to Mr. Jeff Little from Sunrise Rod and Customs, who is a sponsor at the car show for the best paint, and so he's going to be on. And then Kevin Rudder's going to be on on the 15th. I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. Mike Welsh is on the 12th, and Mike is a legendary monster truck driver, pretty well famous for Super Pete. He is a great monster truck announcer. He's a promoter. He's done it all, man. So that's going to be a good interview too with Mike Welsh. And then Chad Lamb will be on the 15th, another young gun. And then we get talking to a madman that just sets himself on fire, runs into a burning bunch of logs on a motorcycle, takes a car, jumps it through the air, blows it up as it's going through the air, and hits two school buses that are standing upright, like bumper to bumper on top of each other, and then they fall in on top of him. And this man has probably got the world record. We think Evil Knievel does, but I know Dr. Danger does. In fact, when I first met him, I called him Dr. Death, and he would come up to me one day at a show, and he goes, "Don't call me Dr. Death, because I'm not Doctor. I'm Dr. Danger." I said, "Well, you should be Dr. Death, because the stuff you're doing, it's crazy." Sean Green, what's up, baby? What's up, man? Sean Green is in the house, has his Mountain Dew on his Riddler for the show. Yeah, guaranteed. But anyway, so Dr. Danger is going to be on the 15th. Then Jeff Little on the 19th, and Wes Lamb. And then Kevin Rudder's going to be on the 22nd. And then a local musician that goes by the name of Dead Bird is going to be on the show. So that's part of our music. Excuse me, my nose is itching. That's going to be part of our music program. So we're not going to be playing very much music the very first few weeks because of the fact is we got interviews on the 6 o'clock hour and the 7:15. So Dead Bird's going to be on. We're going to be talking about his. And then we come in on the 16th with Mr. Trent Holsworth, who comes from another great auctioneer family. They have Holsworth Auction Company. He's going to be on. And then we have another gentleman, young man, named Ethan McDowell. And he has a auction company, his family does, down in Pueblo called Pyramid Auto Auctions. And Ethan is an up-and-coming star, and he's going to be there. In fact, he's going to be talking to us on the road while he's headed to the World Championship Auctioneering Contest. So that's April right there. That's a action packed. Oh, and then we got my buddy Robert Haas, a special one on the 17th. So make sure you mark this down on your calendar. It's going to be the 17th. It's going to be a special edition. We're going to have Robert Haas, who is a mud driver down south, and he's going to be on, and he's got some monster trucks. He's got a Cadillac monster truck, and he's got a real cool, I think it's a Blazer or something like that. He's got a Jeep. And then he's bringing in Kevin King, BJ Johnson, Lindsey Johnson. So he's going to have everybody at his compound, and they're going to be we're going to be talking a special show from his compound on Friday the 17th. So that's going to be pretty cool. And then on the 18th, of course, we go down to Castle Rock for trucks and screwdrivers, the very first verse one. And then already in May, we have Kayla Savage. She's going to be on the show on the 16th. We have Russ Steely. He's going to be on the show on the 10th. And then, of course, I don't think we're going to have a show on the 31st because I'll be in Pueblo. I'll be back, but that's going to be a long day. I got to be in Pueblo by 7:30 in the morning, and it's a 2-hour drive. And I'm going to be pulling a trailer and stuff, so I think I'll probably... Tim Dudley, how you doing, my brother? Good to see you on here, man. So, I think it's going to be a good time, man. I really do. So hopefully we'll get this all going and get it happening. So I'd like to thank some of my sponsors. We're going in here. We're ragging a little bit here. I'd like to thank Seppi's Chala Breads down in Pueblo, 131 Broadway, Pueblo, Colorado. This is some great bread, man. If you're looking, they'll even ship it to you. Her Ellie's email address is Ellie Hava at seppiskosher.com or www.seppiskosher.com. And you can call her. They can ship this bread to you, and it's really worth trying. I guarantee you that. I'd like to thank Jesse Scott for building the trophies for the car show. Jesse Scott Crafts and Creation Studio, www.jessescott.com. Phone number 715-721-5999. Give Jesse a call, man. He does light boxes, those giant spark plugs, which we're going to be converting into trophies. So it's going to be awesome, man. I'd like to thank Arch Auto Glass. Art, my buddy, if you live in the Denver area, make sure you get a hold of Art. He has a mobile service. He'll come to your house. He'll come to your job. He'll meet you at the park. He'll meet you wherever to put a windshield or side glass in your car, because you never know when something's going to get broke out and you need it done. So give Art a call, and it's Arch Auto Glass. Art is his name. Phone number 720-296-8635. If you mention the show, you get 10% off on installation. In this day and age, everything helps, man. Everything helps. Sticker packs. I still have not called my web designer to put the sticker packs on there. That's my fault. So if you've tried, just email me at jeffrichards327@gmail.com. That's jeffrichards327@gmail.com. I can send you some sticker packs out there, man, or maybe some individual ones or whatever. So we've got all that stuff ready to go. You'll be able to see the stickers on the website as quick as we get them loaded up. But I just been busy. I just been a little busy. That's all. So anyway, like I said, we have been, or I have. I say we. It's me, myself, and I. But I've been busy this week. I did a song for a friend of mine, Kevin Dickey, and him and his wife Connie, and they lost their daughter in just a tragic car accident, man. And that's something that I can't fathom. I can't fathom what that's like. I really can't. And I made a song for them about their daughter. Her name was Andrea, but they called her Andy. And Kevin has a tribute truck to hers called Andy's Dream, and it's just a really beautiful truck, man. And I've asked Kevin a couple times to give me some information about it, but Kevin is such a great guy. He's so humble, man. He's just like, we'll do it sooner or later. So I just kind of took the ball and run with it, man. And I sent it to him the other day, and I never have met Kevin, never shook his hand, never stood eye to eye and looked at him, talked to him on the phone, and met him on C10 America magazine. And that's as close as we've ever gotten. But we've got a bond. I mean, there's a bond there. I can tell you, he's one of my brothers, and I'd fight to the death for him. I promise you that right now, because he's just a good person. And we're going to be playing that song for you guys here in a little bit about that. But first of all, we got to talk about my brother Texas Rich, C10 America magazine. I'll tell you what, this man is a master at what he does. He has 82,000 followers, maybe 83 now. I don't know. But this man, he He's amazing at what he does. He builds these metal prints. They come in the sizes of 11 by 14, 16 by 20, and 20 by 30. And I was in issue 5, so was Kevin, of his magazine. This is a digital magazine. It's not a print magazine, it's digital. So Kevin and I were in this magazine together. We didn't even know each other at the time. But I read the article on his truck. I took the time and read the whole magazine. Very, very, very good magazine. I like it a lot. And anyway, Rich asked me if I wanted one of these metal prints. And I said, yeah, man. I said, I'll take one. He only makes these metal prints for us like I have if you're in the magazine. But he will do a metal print for you, or he'll do a metal show board. And the metal show board is a bigger one that kind of sits out in front of your car at a car show or something like that. And that's the 20 by 30. I'm not going to tell you the pricing because I'd mess it up. But I'm going to give you Rich's address, our email address. My cousin Debbie, she is put it up there. Her and Carter are on it tonight, man. But we got Texas Rich at C10AmericanMagazine.com is how you get a hold of him. And this is mine right here. And this is my truck, of course. And then this is the article about my truck in the magazine. And until I got this, people would kind of walk by my truck and look at it because my truck is nothing fancy. It's just, it's very fancy to me. It means a lot to me. It really does. It's just something like I was talking to Kevin there. You can't put a price on what these tribute trucks are for. You know, you just can't put, how do you put a price on your dad or your daughter that's no longer with you anymore? So anyway, I took my truck out today, and me and my dad were riding in it, man, and we were just having a good old time, bud. And it was just a good time. But since I got this, people stop by, they read the article, and then they take the time to walk around the truck, and then they get to notice the truck. And you know, it's just amazing what these metal prints will do. So if you're getting ready to start car show season, which it's already here, car show season is amongst us right now. And get one. You got to get in the queue, and he'll have you send you he wants 15 pictures, and then he wants you to write 2 paragraphs about yourself and one paragraph about you, 1 paragraph about your vehicle. And of course, you can only be in C10 America if you have a C10 truck. That's the only way you can be in the magazine. But Rich will make any of these prints for you. He'll make one about your horse. He really will. So anyway, make sure you get a hold of him. That's Texas Rich at C10AmericanMagazine.com. And get a hold of him and say, hey, I talked to Roller, and I heard Roller talking about you, and I need one of those prints, man. I really do. And he'll put you in the queue. He'll get you hooked up, and he'll make it happen. He really will. So that's just the gist of some of the advertising and sponsorships out there. So I appreciate. Oh, I dropped my metal print here. Better than dropping my false teeth. I mean, I didn't say that. Yeah, Kevin, I guarantee you, man, your truck deserves a 20 by 30 for sure, man. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and break the ice with a song right here that I wrote. And this is about a young man that was getting married. And of course, his wife, or future wife, started telling him, we got to sell all this stuff. He was a big collector of stuff like me, and this is not a story about me, so don't think it is. But she's like, we're going to get married. You can't have this stuff anymore. You got to get rid of it. And she started making him sell different things. And then one day she come up to him and she said, by the way, that old C10 out in the driveway, it's got to go. I don't want it around. I don't want you driving it. You don't need that truck. And this guy had been through living hell with the C10, man. And he just basically told this girl to pack sand. And it was a good deal that he did. But anyway, this is the song, and it's called She Wanted Me to Sell My C10. We'll be right back here on Pedal to the Metal, Motors and Music.
packing up my life for a brand new start. A little white church and a hopeful heart. She said a man don't need all this old stuff around, all those dusty memories stacked on the ground. Old concert shirts and a fishing pole, a toolbox worn from 1,000 rolls. She smiled sweet, but her words cut in. Said a married man don't live like this. She wanted me to sell my C10. Said it didn't fit the life we were in. Said a man my age should grow up somehow, leave that old truck in the past right now. But that old C10's been a faithful friend through every mile and every bend. So I told that girl with a steady grin, honey, I ain't selling my C10. She said that truck's just rust and steel, but it's more than that behind the wheel. First kiss parked by a county road, first paycheck when I drove it home. Every dent's got a story to tell, every mile's like a ringing bell of nights with friends in a small town sky. That old truck's where my years rolled by. She wanted me to sell my C10. Said it didn't fit the life we were in. Said a man my age should grow up somehow, leave that old truck in the past right now. But that old C10's been a faithful friend through every mile and every bend. So I told that girl with a steady grin, honey, I ain't selling my C10. And then one night she drew the final line, said that old truck or this love of mine. I stood there thinking a minute or two about the road and the life I knew. I might never see another C10 again, but I'd see that girl every day till the end. So I grabbed my keys and I shut that door. Said, darling, you can head on down the road. Well, I was driving down the road the other day when I saw them pulled over on that old highway. Her and her new man in that electric ride broke down their eyes looking at me in disbelief. So I pulled my old C10 off to the side, asked them both if they needed a ride. They just stood there staring at me while I laughed and drove off in my old C10. Well, I found me a prettier gal with blonde hair and a smile that lights up everywhere. She loves the sound of that small block roar and that old bench seat and a 3-speed floor. She said, keep that truck, don't ever let it go. That old C10's got a heart and soul, and every time that engine runs, I know I made the right move back then. She wanted me to sell my C10. Said it didn't fit the life we were in. Said a man my age should grow up somehow, leave that old truck in the past right now. But that old C10's been a faithful friend
There you go, man. There you go. That girl, she loves riding in my old C10, you know. Sometimes you just got to tell them, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And that's, you know, I mean, sometimes a guy's got to stand up for himself right there. So, anyway, this next song here is called I Own My Life to That Tailpipe Tune. Now, if you're not a hot rodder, oh, excuse me, if you're not a hot rodder, you don't understand what we mean by tailpipe tune. And tailpipe tune is the sound of that motor. And the sound of that motor, just when you're having a bad day or something like that, is probably one of the coolest things there is, man, because it can soothe the soul of a person that loves hot rodding. And it's even better than rock and roll, man. It really is sometimes. So anyway, this is about a gentleman that happened to. So he says, I owe my life to that tailpipe tune. We'll be right back here on Pedal to the Metal, Motors and Music.
I owe my life to that tailpipe tune. All my life since I was young, I loved hot rods and the tailpipe tune. Every ride I ever owned had its own kind of rumble to it. Old Chevys, Fords, a few worn trucks, headers barking when I fired 'em up. Every engine had a voice, and that sound was my kind of noise. I owe my life to that tailpipe tune, that rumble rolling underneath the moon. That big block thunder shook my soul, did more for me than rock and roll. Cruising highways, back road afternoons, listening to those tailpipe tunes. When the world said I was through, I found my life in that tailpipe tune. And one day about 2 years ago, doctor sat me down real slow, said, son, the news ain't looking good. There's something in you that shouldn't be there. Cancer was the word he said. Feel like lightning in my head. On the drive back home I cried, thinking maybe this was the end. I owe my life to that tailpipe tune, that rumble rolling underneath the moon. That big block thunder shook my soul, did more for me than rock and roll. Cruising highways, canyon afternoons, listening to those tailpipe tunes. When the world said I was through, I found my life in that tailpipe tune. Walked out to my old shop that night, stealing chrome under dusty lights. Every hot rod standing proud like they knew what I was thinking about. So I climbed in that old truck seat, turned the key and woke that beast. Radio blaring loud and clear, but it didn't change a thing inside of me. So I shut it off and there it was, the deep down rumble I always loved. That big block heartbeat in the night started making everything feel right. I owe my life to that tailpipe tune, that rumble rolling underneath the moon. That big block thunder shook my soul, did more for me than rock and roll. Cruising highways, prairie afternoons, listening to those tailpipe tunes. found my life in that tailpipe tune. Through the canyons and the plains, let that motor ease the pain. Every mile the fear would fade, every mile a little faith, that rumble running through my veins, like medicine in every frame. 6 months later I walked back in, doctor staring at the screen again. Said, son, I don't know what to say, the thing we found has gone away. He said, I can't explain your case, never seen results like this. I said, doc, it's simple truth, I know exactly what it is. I owe my life to that tailpipe tune, that rumble rolling underneath the moon. That big block thunder shook my soul, did more for me than rock and roll. Cruising highways, canyon afternoons, listening to those tailpipe tunes. If I make it past 78, I'll thank that big block Chevy V8. Yeah, the answer to life's blues is the sound of those big block tailpipe tunes.
There you go, tailpipe tunes right here on Pedal to the Metal, Motors and Music. Carter, I seen your question earlier, and my mentor, who I wanted to be like, was Ken Holsworth. You remember Ken? He's been there for a long time. When I went back to when I went back to Amarillo, my wife said, "Well, did you get the job?" I said, "I got the job," and I said, "There's a gentleman there that is such an exceptional auctioneer and such a great man, and a good, strong Christian man, that I want to pattern my lifestyle after him." And Kenny and I are like brothers, man. I'm there for him. All he's got to do is call, and he's still in the auctioneering business, and his son's coming up through the business, and Trent's going to be on there. So it's that's who it is, Carter. It's Kenny Holsworth. Okay. So let's see here. Oh, by the way, we got the Wasp in the studio tonight, and he's up on the cars, and he's watching the show. He hasn't tried to bomb me or sting me or done anything to me, so we're going to leave him alone. We're going to just let him watch the show. I think he got in here without paying, but that's okay. I'm going to let you in for free. But if you see me dodging tonight, or if all of a sudden you see me grab something and pass out, you know he stung me and I'm allergic to wasps. But anyway, hi, Mr. Wasp. How are you? Good to see you in the show tonight. Anyway, this next song right here is about a gentleman that had $2 left in his pocket, and he bought him one of them scratch tickets, and he won his dream car, a 67 Chevrolet Corvette. So this song here is called "I Won My Dream Car on a $2 Scratch Ticket," right here on Pedal to the Metal, Motors and Music.
Yeah. Stop for gas on a Friday night, $2 in my hand. Bought a scratch-off ticket at the counter, just a tired working man. Didn't think much when I scratched that silver under neon lights so dim. Then the clerk horses alive. Kills a hay spinner, knock off wheels, red line tires on the ground. Positive traction in the rear end when that big block lays it down. Heavy duty brakes and suspension, built like a street legal race. Leather seats and a telescopic wheel, man, that car had style and grace. I won my dream car on a $2 scratch ticket. Lord, I still can't believe my luck. 1967 black Corvette with a red interior tub. 427 tri-power Thunder, 4-speed on the floor to drive. Side pipe singing like a rock and roll band. 435 horses alive. Kills a hay spinner, knock off wheels, red line tires on the ground. Positive traction in the rear end when that big block lays it down. Heavy duty brakes and suspension, built like a street legal race. Leather seats and a telescopic wheel, man, that car had style and grace. I won my dream car on a $2 scratch ticket. Lord, I still can't believe my luck. A 1967 black Corvette with a red interior tub. 427 tri-power Thunder, 4-speed on the floor to drive. Side pipe singing like a rock and roll band. 435 horses alive. AM/FM playing old road songs, air conditioned, cool and sweet. Power windows rolling down slow when I cruise that summer street. People stare when the pipes start rumbling. Every gear that big block roars. Feels like heaven when I drop the clutch and let that L71 soar. Funny how life can change in seconds, from a dream you never expect. 2 little bucks and a scratch of silver turned into my dream Corvette. I won my dream car on a $2 scratch ticket. From a gas pump on Highway 9. Now I'm driving my black '67 Vet with that big block roaring fine. 427 tri-power Thunder, side pipes howling in the night. $2 gamble at a country store turned a dream into a ride.
There you go. $2 scratch ticket, winning a '67 Corvette. Whoa, yeah, that's me. That's me. That's not my luck, but that's me. I would love to do that, for sure. Yeah, Tim Dudley, it's more than fine. I told you can do whatever you want to do with that song, man. That is yours to do with it. Whatever you want. I don't care. Any song that I make for somebody, that's their song. I'll hold the rights to it, but that's their song to do whatever they want. So thanks for asking, Tim. But yes, you do have my okay. So go ahead and do that. All right, guys. This next one here, this is gonna be a tough one for me because the minute that I got this song done and I started playing it, it just broke me up, man. I mean, to lose a child, I have no idea what that's like. I really don't. I mean, it's got to be terrible. It really does. And Kevin Dickey and Connie Dickey lost their daughter, and her name was Andy. They called her Andy. Her name was Andrea. And anyway, she fell in love with Kevin's truck when he first got it. And she used to tell her friends, this is going to be my truck one day. Well, bad news came, and she never did get to to have that truck. She wanted to bring it back because the truck went through all kinds of, and you'll hear it in the song, but the truck went through lots of driving and stuff, and it finally, parts wore out, and Kevin just parked it off to the side. And Andy, she she wanted to bring this truck back to life, and it just didn't work out for her, man. And it just sucks. So anyway, this song right here is called Riding Shotgun from Heaven.
Daddy bought that Silverado back in 2001, a California stepside, shining in the sun, 305 motor and factory air. But you saw a better truck hiding in there. Then you dropped a 350 with a 4-barrel car, little cam and flow masters rumbling hard. That Chevy carried every mile we'd seen before we ever knew what that truck would mean. I remember missing the school bus, standing next to you, just so I could ride to school in that truck you drove. You'd drop me off and I'd smile so proud, telling all my friends I'd make you proud. I used to say that truck would someday be mine. Guess I dreamed about it all the time. Those mornings riding through the sunrise glow mean more now than you'll ever know. Then my brother came home wearing Marine Corps green. You handed him the keys to that old machine. He drove the wheels off that Chevy for years, till the frame gave away from miles and gears. So you parked it down and let it sit, dust on the hood thinking that was it. But I told you, Dad, let's bring it back alive. Me and my boyfriend would make it right. He said that truck wasn't worth the time, said we'd find another dream down the line. But life has a way of changing our plans. 6 months later, fate dealt its hand. That freeway night changed everything. But Daddy, please don't blame a thing, because even then I still could see the dream the truck would someday be. Now that old truck rolls down the road, carrying love you always showed. Every mile that engine screams still carries on. Andy's dream, sinister smoke in the midnight gleam, lime green lights like I dreamed. Every road and every scene still carries on. Andy's dream. I watched you working boat by boat, turning heartache into hope. Body lines smoothed and the glass set clean, building the truck I always dreamed. Red oak bed in the stance down low, 383 stroker, ready to go. 525 horses rumbling strong. Daddy, you finished what I dreamed all along. That old truck rolls down the road, carrying love you always showed. Every mile that engine screams still carries on. Andy's dream. Oh. that truck every time it rolls, shining black with that green glow. And every time that engine roars, I'm riding right there like before. Mama, Daddy, please don't cry for me. I'm doing fine where the roads run free. One day we'll all be together, it seems. So keep on driving, Andy's dream. And every time that truck rolls by, just know I'm riding shotgun from the sky.
There you go, riding shotgun from the sky. Kevin, Dickey, Connie, I love you guys. We'll be right back.
Love nuts, take a look at our new partner, 6'9" graphics and design. A small design and marketing company, big on personalized surveys. They work closely with you to get your business noticed, with graphics that stand out and grab attention. 6'9" graphics and design specializes in stickers, decals and graphics for your hot rods, custom projects, so business marketing. They also offer logo design, brochure signs, business cards, banners, custom apparel, vehicle graphics, and much more. Remember, that's 6'9" graphics and design. Visit 69design.com or find them on Instagram at 69design. Need to pick me up to start your day. There's a place in Parker that'll get you going. Rise and Grind Coffee has bold espresso, strong coffee, smooth lattes, plus chai teas and cold. Smoothies, regular or decaf, whatever you're in the mood for. Hungry, grab a hot breakfast burrito or a fresh muffin, quick, simple, and ready to roll. Got something coming up, any event or party you're planning, they've got a portable coffee cart that brings the coffee right to you. Fresh drinks served on site. Local spot, good coffee, good people. Rise and Grind Coffee, fueling your day, one cup at a time.
Wow, thank good for commercials, because I needed those two commercials to get myself back in. Kevin, that song was really, I don't know, it's just really touching. It was really heartfelt, and I'm glad you liked it. I didn't even know Texas Rich was in here. He just kind of snuck in. That little sneaker. They got a new car today, man. I tried to call him, but they're busy doing family stuff, and I don't like to bother people when they're doing family stuff, so I gotta give him a call tomorrow and find out what's going on and talk about the new car and stuff like that. So, let's see here. Oh, that's no problem, Tim. That is no problem, bud. You can do. You can interrupt me anytime you want, brother. That's all there is to it. So, but anyway, Kevin, I did like doing that song for you, and I like doing things like that for my friends, man. And I didn't mean it in any way to tear you guys down and make you relive stuff, but I did it more for power to let you know that Andy lives and she's looking over you guys. So there you go. This next one right here is called My Dream Truck. I wrote this about a gentleman back in, of course, you know, you can always tell that it's not me, but I use references of things that I own and different things like that. Back in '73, when the square bodies first come out, this gentleman fell in love with the truck, and all of his life he wanted to get one, but things got in the way, and families got in the way, and kids got in the way, and he always told his boys, I want one of these trucks, man. That's what I want if I can ever get one. So right here, this is a story. This is called My Dream Truck right here on Pedal to the Metal, Motors and Music.
I remember when the ads first came out, a brand new Chevy truck design. They called it the square body style, and it looked like no truck I'd seen in my time. The year was 1973, Lord, I remember it well. I was a young man starting life with a girl that heaven sent. I wanted that truck, I wanted it bad, but life had other plans. A baby on the way and bills to pay for a young wife and a working man. So I told myself someday I'd buy that Chevy shining blue. But dreams get buried in the years when life comes rushing through. That old C10 Chevy became my dream truck, parked in the back of my mind. Through mortgages, children, and overtime, hours that waited through the passing of time. But some dreams never fade away, they just ride along with you. And deep in my heart, since '73, I've been dreaming of that truck. Well, the years roll by like highway miles, and we raised two fine young boys, both doctors now and making us proud. Our greatest gifts and joys. One afternoon the phone rang loud. My oldest son said, Dad, are you home today? We got a surprise for your 50th birthday. I waited there in the living room till the doorbell finally rang. He said, come outside, there's something here that me and my brother brought you today. I walked around that corner slow, and I couldn't believe my eyes. There sat the truck from '73, shining in the drive. That old C10 Chevy was my dream truck, the one I'd wanted all my life. Through hard years of working double shifts and raising my kids right. They said, Dad, you gave us everything. You worked till your hands were blue. Now it's time to give something back. So we bought this truck for you. He said, you kept this house a home, warm in winter, cool in June. Plenty of food upon the table and a father's steady tune. You worked 2 jobs to send us off to chase the dreams we knew. Now it's time we paid you back everything you do. Now I drive that old truck down the road with my favorite girl by my side, and every mile takes me back to 1973 in my mind. Tears roll down my face when they handed me the keys to that dream that finally came true. And every time I start that engine, I thank my boys for that old Chevy truck. Yeah, that square body Chevy was more than a truck to me. It was a dream that waited patiently since 1973.
There you go. My dream truck right there on Pedal to the Metal, Motors and Music. Well, you know, it's 6:52 p.m. We're not too far away from talking to J.R. Adams, the driver of the big Blue Ovel. But we still got a couple more songs to play before we do that. So this one here is called the C10 That Time Forgot. We'll be right back here on Pedal to the Metal, Motors and Music.
"1968, on a summer afternoon, he drove it off the lot beneath a bright July moon. Brand new Chevrolet, shining red and clean, 350 under hood and that long bed C10 dream. Just a working man with a family and a plan, steel-toe boots and calloused hands. 2 months later, fate knocked hard on the door. A job site accident took him from this world. And that C10 sat in a barn out back, dust on the hood and cobwebs in the cracks. 50 long years where the daylight forgot. A brand new truck the world never got. 730 miles on the dial, frozen in time like a photograph file. Under that dust was a story untold, a C10 that time forgot to grow old. His widow closed the doors and tried to move on. Some memories you buried just to stay strong. Years rolled by like the turning of a page, but that Chevy never felt another age. Hay bales stacked and the seasons rolled by, snow on the roof and the years stacked high. But under that dirt in the barnyard rot sat a piece of history the world forgot. Yeah, that C10 sat in a barn out back, dust on the hood and cobwebs in the cracks. 50 long years where the daylight forgot. A brand new truck the world never got. 730 miles on the dial, seats still smelling factory fresh for a while. Under that dust was a story untold, a C10 that time forgot to grow old. One Sunday morning in the classifieds, a tiny little ad caught somebody's eye. It simply read in faded typeface font, "Time capsule truck for sale, come if you want. When he opened the door and the light poured in, that Chevy looked like 1968 again. Dirty old paint, but the shine still fought. A sleeping legend the years forgot. He hauled it home on a borrowed trailer, said this old Chevy's worth the labor. Dropped the tank and ran new lines, fresh oil flowing for the very first time. New brake lines and a battery bright, cleaned that carburetor late one night. Every bolt and hose he fought for that C10 that time forgot. Now that C10 rolls down an old dirt road, carrying stories the decades hold. 730 miles and a second shot for a C10 that time forgot. Brand new seats and a wheel still tight, sun on the hood in the morning light. Some things fade and some things rot, but not that C10 that time forgot.
That C10 that time forgot. Don't that have, I mean, maybe it's just me, but don't that have a Brooks and Dunn kind of sound to it? I mean, give me some thumbs up out there if you think so. I think it really did. I think it had a Kix Brooks and Ronnie Dunn kind of sound, man. I really do. I think it was, I don't know. Sometimes it really, this program really makes some song, and I love Brooks and Dunn. I mean, their voices are awesome, man. And I just think that sometimes, man, this thing just says, okay, Roller needs a little Brooks and Dunn. Let's do it. Let's do it for him right there. So Carter says she absolutely agrees. Thank you, Carter. Thank you, Carter. Anyway, this next song right here is called The Night I Became a Man. This is about a young man and a young lady that fell in love underneath the starry moonlight in the back of their C10. We'll be right back here on Pedal to the Metal, Motors and Music.
I was 17 with a young man's dream and a Chevy from my daddy's yard. Faded paint and a straight six hump, but that old truck ran real hard. Picked her up by the county line underneath that harvest moon. Windows down on a gravel road and a country radio tune. That was the night I became a man in my old C10. Two young hearts and a wild plan, running more on love than love. We didn't know what life would bring or the price of growing up, but everything changed forever in that old C10. Fall rolled in and the leaves turned red when she showed up at my door. Tears in her eyes, trembling hands, saying life was something more. My heart hit hard like a hammer drive as the truth came rolling in. Two scared kids on the front porch step and a brand new road began. That was the night I became a man in my old C10. Two young hearts and a wild plan, running more on love than love. We didn't know what life would bring or the price of growing up, but everything changed forever in that old C10.
church in a borrowed suit, with a daddy watching me. Promises made with shaking hands about the man I try to be. Work long days and pray long nights till the years begin to roll. That same old truck in the driveway and a baby in my arms to hold. Sometimes life don't wait its turn, sometimes love moves way too fast. But the road you take at 17 can become your life at last. That was the night I became a man, in my old C10. 2 young hearts and a wild plan, running more on faith than love. Now the kids are grown and gone, but we're still together, my friend. And that old summer night still lives in that old C10.
There you go, guys. The night I became a man. Just whoop, whoop, whoop. We don't want that to happen. Kevin Dickey, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Debbie, too. Yeah, you guys, if you hear any of this music that I play at any time, write the names down. Send me a list. I'll build you a playlist. I was busy trying to make albums and stuff like that, and I just thought, you know what? If they like the music, man, we can go ahead and make some playlists and email them off to you. So, it doesn't take long to do that. So if you hear anything that you like, just get a hold of me at jeffrichards327@gmail.com. That's jeffrichards327@gmail.com. You guys don't forget to listen to my buddy tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock Central Time. Mr. Texas Rich, he'll be on his show, and it's C10 America, man, and it's a good show. You need to tune in. 82,000 followers, probably 83 now. I haven't checked in a couple of days with him, but man, I just hope that I can get half the listeners that he has. And he's only been doing it for 3 years, guys. 3 years, and he is, like he says, he's a one-man band. And I'm telling you what, man, that's some street cred right there. That is some street credit. And then Rich is going to be down in Snyder, Texas. He'll be at the Buffalo Wheels Car Show, and that's in October. If you want to meet him, he'll be down there, and he's going to go down there and hang out with our buddy Scott Stout. And he's going to be. I told him to bring some Sharpies, man. And then Rich, if you're still on here, you better get some Sharpies. If you need Sharpies, I'll send you some. But you better get some Sharpies, because with 82,000 plus followers, somebody's going to want to sign an autograph. I'll guarantee you that. I want you to sign their autograph. So make sure you do that, my brother from another mother, right there. So let's see here. It's 7:04. Well, let's see here. We got time to do... let's see here. I made 2 versions of Kevin's daughter's song. That first one was designed, you're out. No, you're not. You're in. You're in signing, or you're out of watching the show tonight. Maybe that's okay. But you are not out for signing autographs, pal. And that's all there is. I'll come down there, and me and Miss Terry, we'll whoop on you. We will. You don't want Miss Terry and Roller whooping on you, Richie Poo. We'll whoop you and show everybody your Superman underwear for sure. But anyway, I made 2 versions of Kevin's daughter's song. And the first one was her talking to Kevin and Connie. And the second one was a song where there was a man that, and how I was making it, and I really wanted to make the song this way, but I'm glad it didn't work out, because the other one wouldn't have come about, and I like the other one a lot better. And I sent it to Rich, and I said, do you think Kevin's going to like this? And he said, oh, man. He said, I don't even have to listen to the other one. I know which one he's going to like. But anyway, the second one is a guy that's supposed to be portraying Kevin. And yeah, see, Kevin said, "Oh yes, you are." So there, ha ha ha, ha ha ha. Anyway, and then it was his daughter saying the parts, but the parts I wanted her, just her voice. The other voice come in, and I couldn't. I was getting mad at a computer, guys. I was yelling at a computer. I was calling the computer bad names and telling it was ignorant and stupid. And computers don't have feelings, okay? So anyway, we're gonna go and we're gonna play the second verse of this song, the other version, and this is both of them for Kevin, and we'll be right back here on Pedal the Metal Motors and Music.
Bought that old Silverado back in 2001. A California stepside, baking in the sun. 305 motor and factory air, but I saw a better truck hiding in there. So I dropped the 350 with a 4-barrel car, little cam and flow masters growling hard. That Chevy carried every mile we'd seen, never knowing what that truck would mean. My little girl Andrea, everybody called her Andy, used to miss the school bus, standing right by me. I'd drop her off and she'd smile so proud, tell her friends that truck's gonna be mine somehow. Those mornings rolling through the sunrise gold are memories worth more than I could hold. I thought it was just another ride to school, but to that little girl it was something beautiful. Later on my boy came home Marine Corps strong, so I handed him the keys before too long. He drove the wheels off that old machine till the frame cracked hard near the steering gear seam. So I parked that Chevy and let it sit, dust on the hood, thought that was it. Then Andy said, "Dad, let's bring it back alive. Me and my boyfriend, we'll make it right." I told her that truck wasn't worth the time, said we'd find another dream down the line. But life has a way of changing your plans. About 6 months later, fate dealt its hand. A freeway crash and a broken sky, a father left asking why. Then a friend said, "Remember what the truck meant to her." That's when the dream began to stir. This ain't just steel and horsepower and chrome, it's a promise a father carried home. Every mile that engine screams still carries on a daughter's dream. Sinister smoke and the midnight gleam, lime green lights for my girl Andy. Every road and every scene still carries on Andy's dream.
Still carries on Andy's dream.
Body line smooth and the glass set clean. Custom steel where the seams once been. Cadillac lights and a handmade gate. Oak bed floor, stained ebony straight. 5 inches down in the front it leans. 6 in the rear with a low ride lean. 383 stroker under the hood. 525 horses, sounding good.
Every bolt and every seam
Built for the heart of Andy's dream. This ain't just steel and horsepower and chrome. It's a promise a father carried home. Every mile that engine screams still carries on. Andy's dream. Sinister smoke in the midnight gleam. Lime green lights for my girl Andy.
every road and every seam.
Still carries on Andy's dream.
Mama, Daddy, please don't cry tonight. I promise you I'm alright.
I know the day I had to go broke your hearts more than you know. But I see that truck every time it rolls, shining black with that green glow.
Daddy, you built it just like my dream.
Every boat in Andy's dream.
Mama, Daddy, please don't worry about me.
I'm doing fine where the roads run free.
I'm sorry that I had to go that day, but love like ours never fades away.
And every time the truck rolls by, I'm riding shotgun from the sky. One day we'll all be together, it seems. So keep on driving Andy's dream.
And when that engine rumbles down the road,
Just know I'm right there.
watching over you both.
All right, guys, we're just a few minutes away here from calling JR, so let's see if we can get him on the phone. Kevin, thank you for allowing me. Well, of course, you didn't know that I was doing it, but I just thank you for loving them songs, man. I didn't know how you were going to take them or anything like that. I used my brother, Texas Rich, for, hello, Bob Post, how are you? For sounding board, and when he gave me thumbs up on the first one, I knew that it would be okay with you. So, like I said, those were not meant to bring back bad memories. They were there to preserve Andy's dream for you for sure. Guaranteed. So, without further ado, let's call Mr. JR and see how he is and see if we can get him on the line here. We're going to have to take out stock in Kleenex tissues. I know that. Maybe we can get sponsored by them because they were definitely on tonight for sure. Let's see here. Where's the phone? There. The Micons, they move all the time. And then they make me search for them. And I think Rich moves them. It's all Rich's fault. Let's blame Rich tonight. Anything that goes wrong, it's Rich's fault. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're going to see.
Hi, if you record your name and reason for calling, I'll see if this person is available.
Jeff Richards, roller. I gotta get me this thing. I like
Thanks.
it.
Please stay on the line.
No, Rich, it's yours.
Hello.
What's going on, my brother?
Not much. How you doing, buddy?
Dude, we had a good first hour, and everything's rolling pretty good. We got some good listeners on here right now, and the music was happening, man. So we're ready for some monster truck stuff. How's your day out there today?
Oh, not too bad. How about yours?
I got to drive my hot rod today. I took it on quite a good drive. I probably drove it about 50 miles today, and it was really fun, man. I started playing some music, and then I turned it off and just listened to that old V8 rumble, So it was a lot of fun. So I had a good time.
That's good. That's good. It's hard to beat them days like that.
Oh man, and summer's here, are coming. We really need we need some moisture though, man. I go for a couple of good snowstorms or some really good rainstorms for sure, man.
That's
So
that's the opposite case out here where I'm at. We've had plenty of moisture. So
that's what I understand, and if you want to bring some buckets of moisture out here to us, then I would go for the deal for sure. But yeah, my field, I got 10 acres out here, man, and I'm worried because I keep it really mowed good, but my neighbors they let it just grow tall, and oh, if it gets on fire, it's going to be a bad deal
yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
So, JR, like we do with everybody, we kind of start off where when you're growing up, man, as a kid, and kind of, what got you into this and what you did as a kid and different things like that. So, why don't I just turn it over to you, and you can, you know, kind of start talking about that, and then don't do like some of the guys do. They go, well, I started out as a kid, then I went to the teenager, then I went into, then I'm done. And then we're like, okay, well, that's 5 minutes. Good talking to you, So just,
yeah.
in depth, we like to hear stories, man. My audience likes to hear stories, man.
Well, I never really got into that kind of stuff. I watched it on TV here and there when I was a kid, but it wasn't as popular as, of course, as it is now. But I never really got into four wheel drives and stuff till I was probably late teens, early 20s. I started hanging out with some family members and stuff. They was big in four wheel drives and mud racing at like the local county fairs and stuff. And then we started going to special events, shows, the jamborees and stuff. And that's when I really took a big liking to monster trucks. But here in Madison, Indiana, where I live at, Gil Medford had a stomper truck here that they run for T&T Motorsports.
Uh huh.
I had always seen that truck driving by the facility that they stored it at, and then you get to see it on TV here and there too. But my big interest in any kind of motorsports or anything didn't come till not so much when I was a kid, but in my late teens, and then through the mud racing. You know, Charlie Miller, he worked for Paul Schaefer, and he's the one that ended up getting me a job with Paul. I think I was 22 or 23 when I went to work for Paul,
Uh
and I
huh.
worked for 4 years. Uh, I ended up, I started out just being a crew guy for Paul, and then running the ride truck. I think I'd worked for him a little over a year, and he put me in a race truck. It, but and just I had good mechanical knowledge by the time I went to work for Paul of a four wheel drive and stuff.
Uh huh.
I, that helped quite a bit. The mud racing helped quite a bit too. It
Sure.
seems like it's where a lot of guys started out at. But as a kid, I didn't really have much interest in that kind of stuff. I worked on farms and stuff growing up, but
Uh huh. So you were born to work right away. Then you grew up working on the farms because that's what you had to do. You had to help the family, right?
yeah, yeah. And then the all our neighbors was farmers too, so there was always, you could always be doing something.
Sure. Did you guys not? You guys have like an old truck that you just took out when you weren't doing any farming and just went four wheeling and down to the creek and all that other stuff and just kind of had one that was fun?
Um, I didn't really, not till my late teens. I ended up uh, first four-wheel drive I personally owned was a little Bronco too,
Uh
and man, I beat it pretty hard, a lot harder than what I should have
yeah,
for something I had
made up for
been
lost
on to get
time,
back.
huh?
Yeah, yeah, I didn't. I started. I was pretty hard on parts, so
Yeah, that's all right, man. I mean, that's you got to drive them. You got to drive them like you own them, right? I mean, that's just the way
yeah.
it is, man. It is. So when you was working for Paul, what was the first truck that you drove?
The I drove his Monster Patrol ride truck, but the actual first truck I raced for him was it was the Rampage truck, but
Yeah,
it was the belly dragger as everybody refers to it. It was
right.
the front hung four link truck. He bought it off Richard and Shirley Patterson
I
after
remember
they
the
bought
truck very
it.
well.
Um, and Charlie Miller spent about a year in it, and then when he moved up to a different truck, I I moved into the seat of that truck, and then I raced it for 3 years for Paul. That was a it was a fun truck to drive, but it was hard to freestyle. You
Uh huh.
wasn't much. You could do real good in racing with it, but you could freestyle it here and there. But it was a lot harder to freestyle than some of the other trucks.
Right. Now, did that
So
truck have a 3-speed Linko in it?
yeah, it
I
at
thought they
that time,
did. Yeah.
all Paul's Hemi trucks at that point in time had a 3-speed Linko in them.
Right.
So
And correct me if I'm wrong, but they were they were really good trucks going forward, but the reverses were bad in them. Correct?
yeah, they the reverse was real weak in them. It had a quarter 20 bolts that held the reverser in them, and they was bad about shearing off
Uh huh.
if you weren't real easy on them. They ended up coming up with a Linko did designed a better reverser because the Hall brothers was using that same particular transmission also.
Right.
They they uh they built a better reverser that they claimed you could do reverse stunts with, but I don't know that I would go that far with it. So,
Yeah,
but
well, their claim to fame maybe not was not so true, huh?
yeah, well, they but the going through the Ford gears, they was strong transmission.
Right.
So
Now, Jr. Did was I working with Paul? I didn't do a lot of them for when you were there, or had I already moved on to Monster X Tour?
I think you had moved on the Monster X by the time I worked for Paul.
Uh huh.
So that I've I'm running a show somewhere. I think I may have been a crew guy that you was announcing that for Paul, but it was for Danny
Oh,
when
okay.
X set up.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
then
we had a lot. We did a lot of shows for Paul.
yeah, yeah. And then uh really got familiar with you when I worked for Bigfoot. So
Well, that was my truck, man. The big blue oval. I'm not a
yeah,
Ford guy, but that big blue oval with them 66s on it, man, that's my truck, man. I guarantee you that right now.
yeah.
I always had a soft spot in my heart for that. But it's amazing how many drivers really did start with Paul, and Paul gave them their shot, and of course he made them crew and stuff at first and stuff, and then there's a lot of people on that I've had on the show that did start out with Paul.
Well, I think when I worked for him, I think at one point in time he owned 3 or 4 ride trucks and I want to say 20 race trucks.
Uh huh.
He wasn't running all of them, but he was running the majority of them.
Uh huh.
And where he was independent, it was easier to, uh, for lack of better wording, it was easier to get a shot in a seat with him than it was anybody else really, because mostly it was small teams outside of Paul,
Yeah.
and then Monster Jam. I mean, that's after them, it was Paul, and then your bigger race teams falling behind Paul would have been like Bigfoot and people like that.
Right.
So he had so many trucks and so much going on where he done his own shows, but then he would send trucks to different promoters too. He had
Yeah.
to keep stuff going. So
Yeah, I did a lot of fair stuff with him. That's where I did most of my stuff was at the fairs and stuff, like Valparaiso and all around in those areas. You know, I did quite a few fair shows for him.
Yeah, he would. Well, in the summertime, we didn't hardly ever make it back to Westville, which was where he had the trucks based out of,
Right.
because we were always on the road. He he done county fairs all over Indiana, but he done a lot out in Pennsylvania and stuff too.
Uh huh.
So
They were fun shows though because they were one and dones, and then you drove that night to the next one and then did another one, and you know, I mean, there was a lot of work, but uh, I didn't mind the fair shows at all. They were I just liked going in there and getting them done and getting them over with and leaving. You know, that was kind of nice.
yeah, yeah, always someplace different. So
Right, exactly. So, uh, then you started out with Richard and Shirley's old truck, and then what did you go into after that?
um, I'm basically the whole time I worked for Paul, I stayed in that truck. I filled in a couple other trucks here and there. I filled in the Monster Patrol for Doug Charles
Uh huh.
out in Arizona one time, and then James Teague was working for Paul at the time. He had a Larry Slim's old barefoot truck,
Uh huh.
and I done a couple shows with it in Texas because he ended up going to Australia for Clive
Uh huh.
over there to drive. I think it was a Monster Patrol for Clive.
Uh
So
huh. Well, there's a name I hadn't heard in a long time. In fact, I forgot about James. There was a driver that worked for Paul. His name was Gino. What was Gino's last name?
I don't remember him.
You don't, because
No.
he drove a Monster Patrol also, and him and Larry ran the road. I forgot about it. In fact, I know that Dave Gross is on here, and maybe he remembers Gino's last name. I don't know for sure, but so so you worked for Paul for how many years before you went to Foot?
Um, I was I was with Paul for probably right around 4 years,
Uh
and
huh.
then when he slowed down in 2007, uh, I stepped away for a little bit. My son was born in 2007, and
Uh
then
huh.
I think it was late 2010. I talked to Larry Swim, and he told me Bigfoot was hiring, and I put in a resume over there with him
Uh huh.
and interviewed with them in January 2011, and started for them in February 2011. So I started out in Bigfoot 8 working for them doing their Firestone display program, which is basically where all their drivers start at. And
Right.
then was able, I come in right as they was building the truck, so I was able to move up into a race truck pretty quick for them.
Uh huh.
It was, I done a display truck for 8 or 9 months, and then at the end of that year, I'd done a car crush in Texas with Kyle Doyle,
Uh huh.
and then uh, the next year was the first quarter. I ended up crewing a handful of shows for Eric Tack
Well,
and
E.T.
helping out other drivers where I could.
Uh huh.
And that next spring's when I took over 10 full time. So
Yeah, E.T. was iconic. He was a good driver, man. He really
he
was.
was. He's a very knowledgeable driver.
Oh man,
He
guarantee.
he was helpful. He would answer any questions you had and stuff like that. But he was knowledgeable on their trucks too.
Right.
So
I need to try to get a hold of him somehow. I wonder if anybody at Foot or if anybody or even you might have a number to get a hold of him at.
I don't have his phone number anymore,
Uh
but
huh.
if you, I would sure, I'm sure Bob Trent or somebody at Bigfoot would have a way to get a hold of him.
Right. Yeah. I really would like to get him on the show, man. He was such a great guy, and we had a lot of fun at the shows and stuff, man. He's just a good driver, man, and he knew, like you said, he was very knowledgeable about the truck, very knowledgeable about the arena that he was running in, and everything like that. So it's good to work underneath somebody like that, you know.
Yeah, he uh he has a lot of stories too, like, you know, from I don't, it's more of a freestyle sport now, which there's nothing wrong with that because that's what people want to see. But like some of us, like I'm a racer at heart, to be honest with you, and he's got race stories, and I enjoyed hearing like from you know late '90s or whatever, back when racing was racing. So
Right.
that's I always enjoyed listening to them stories. So
Yeah, he did. So why did you like racing better than you did freestyling?
I've I've just always been a racer,
Uh-huh.
so it's more competitive
Uh-huh.
to I mean, because and I'm guilty of it too. I'm you go out and take one wrong hit and you lay a truck over and you end up winning freestyle, even though some guy went out there and laid down a beautiful freestyle, but you had the truck that rolled over, and that's ultimately what people want to see. Seems like so.
It is, and
That
that's in all forms of racing. I mean, they will go to the stock car tracks. They want to see them spin out, hit the wall. They want to see that carnage, you know. But you're right. They I've never judged a contest yet that the truck that ran rolled over, and it might have been his first hit. Uh,
yeah.
that you know he he did it. He wins, you know. So I
That
don't know.
I done that to the time I was guilty of it the most was in 2014. I done some shows for Monster X in Poland,
Uh huh.
and Bigfoot had shipped 10 over there to. I was doing some stuff overseas with Nigel in around the European Union, and then it went and spent a month in Poland. And the first show we was over there, Bill Payne went out and laid down a really good freestyle. It was a truck he hadn't ever really drove because they didn't ship his Rockstar over there. They shipped another truck over for him. Man, he had a really good freestyle. I went out and I don't know, I made a few good hits, and then I ended up hitting the backside of the motorcycle ramp, and it rolled the truck over. It was just an awkward hit.
Uh huh.
And they ended up giving me freestyle. The crowd gave me freestyle, and I shouldn't have really won freestyle in that aspect. So I didn't want to win it that way, but that's how it was. So and it's just it was different over there because they don't see monster trucks over there as much as we see them over here.
Oh yeah.
So that but by rights he really should have won that freestyle. He went out and done a real good job. So
Did you have did you have a good time in Poland? Were the people really receptive of being there, and did they know the Bigfoot name really well?
uh yeah, they I had a blast over there. Honestly, I didn't. I'm a real picky eater, so the traditional food kind of threw me off a little bit.
Right.
But the Bigfoot name, Nigel had went and done that tour with uh, Monster X just I want to say a year or two prior to that,
Uh huh.
so they were still kind of familiar with the names and stuff. But it was more the big trucks because they didn't have stuff like that over there.
Right.
I think the biggest truck we seen outside of the monster trucks was like a half-ton Dodge Ram truck, and that's just a common truck over here. So
Sure. Yeah. I guarantee every day you pass 20 million of them on the road. You
yeah,
know. So what were their what was the shows like? What did I mean? How did they? How was the format? What did the same as over here?
yeah, it was the same format as over here. We was delivering an American show in Poland stadiums,
Uh huh.
so and it would be even the tracks was built the same, similar as they were over here.
Uh huh.
It was the uh the big difference was, on your announcers you had a translator,
Uh
so
huh.
they was translating to Polish. So, but they you know, it was a lot of the like your doctors and stuff were more into it over there than like say over here. Not being judgmental or whatever,
Uh
but
huh.
they I don't really know how to word that, but they made it seem like you had to have a better job to be able to afford to go to it over there. I guess
Oh,
is what I'm.
really? Really?
Yeah, Uh, not that it was priced that much different than over here,
Uh-huh.
but it's the way the job's paid over there.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
but
I could see that, I guess. I mean, you know, I mean, I know that they probably didn't make a lot of money over there, the normal person, and that the doctors would make more. So
yeah.
I could see how that is. So, but were the crowds loud and crazy like they are here, or were they just, they were like, oh yeah, and just kind of mediocre?
They was loud. They was real loud. They was loud and crazy like they are here. But at that point in time, I had run smaller stadiums, but we was in their soccer fields over there, their football as they refer to it fields,
Right.
and 30, 40,000 people. You know, so it seemed a lot louder
Of
than it was
course.
over here.
Yeah.
But and then I think three of the shows we run were outdoor shows over there. So and then we run one one stretch of shows indoors. It's been two shows indoors. So,
Uh-huh.
but the crowd indoors was real loud. But like even in their soccer fields over there, they was really loud. So,
So was that the first time you'd ever done a show in front of a large group of people like that, or had you done some shows here in the States that were comparable to the number of people attending?
not them kind of numbers because with Paul we was doing county fairs and stuff, and
Yeah.
when I worked for big, even being at Bigfoot, you know, 10, 12,000 people, but not 30 or 40, not like that. So I personally hadn't. So it was it was different for me in that aspect, but they they was really into it. So
Right. I can remember when we did Cardinal Stadium. I think there was high 30s, low 40s in attendance, and it is different, man. I mean, it is difference between night and day because you can just hear and feel the people yelling and screaming and stuff like that. It's just a different animal, and it's kind of shocking at first as an announcer. I don't know about a driver, but it's kind of shocking at first to be stand there in front of all those people, and you know, if you say jump, they get up and they jump, and if you say sit down, they sit down, and I mean, you feel like I've got a little power here. But it was kind of cool though. And then I got to be with Army Armstrong and different things like that. So that was my hero as a kid. And but yeah, that would be. You could hear him, I bet you, in the truck though, couldn't you?
yeah, you could hear them over the truck, like if how loud the trucks are, even
Oh
in
yeah,
freeze. You could hear them clearly over whatever he was doing in the truck.
right,
So
right,
then that was a lot different as a driver, because like I said, over here you could hear them, but not as clear as you could hear them over there.
sure.
So
Guaranteed. So, as a driver for Bigfoot, did you always feel that going into a show for the weekend that you kind of had a target on your back? I mean, everybody's there willing to help and stuff, but when it comes time to racing or freestyling, everybody was out to beat Bigfoot.
yeah, for the most part. I mean, but they like you said, everybody helps each other or whatever, but then everybody wants to beat the Bigfoot truck too, because they started it, and for years and years they stayed untouchable. They was leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else. So you could sneak by a Bigfoot driver somewhere. It was bragging rights for sure. So and that I don't know. Bob expects his trucks to be run hard.
Yeah,
And he don't want you. They give you every advantage they could give you.
right.
You had every weekend when you went out, you had the best piece of equipment that you could possibly have
Yeah,
because the top guys spend hours every week going through the truck, and I mean, the when I worked for Bob, we had a parts checklist that we kept our trailer. We had basically everything other than like a spare motor. And
Uh-huh.
sometimes if you was going away from the shop for a good while or whatever, you carried a spare motor with you too.
Uh-huh.
So because them trucks were expected to perform. So,
Right.
but simply because of the name on the side of them, there was high expectations everywhere you went. So,
Right, exactly. So what was the pep talk when you first got on with Bigfoot? What did they tell you? I mean, uh, as far as this is the truck and this is our brand and, we want you of course to drive hard, but I mean, uh, they give you certain parameters that, is for like media and different things like that.
um, not really. They trusted their drivers to do that kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
The first few weeks, even being in the display truck, Jim Kramer come out and traveled with me.
Uh-huh.
Um, done some driver training, and even then when I transformed into the race truck, Jim Kramer, I think he spent 5 or 6 weeks on the road with me both times
Uh-huh.
to, to teach you their way of how they done things, and then you know to work with you to get to their way because they had a certain way they wanted things done. It wasn't necessarily a bad way.
Right.
It's just they where they had been doing it so long they knew what worked best.
Right.
So even like when I where I come from, Paul, and would I didn't have bad habits or whatever, but would do stuff different. They're like, hey, try it like this. They never really wouldn't say forced it on you or whatever, but they showed you the best ways to do things. So,
Sure.
and it was helpful.
Oh, guaranteed, man. Yeah, to be able to gather up knowledge from a legend like Jim Kramer,
Oh yeah,
and have him there with you for 4 or 5 weeks, man. I mean, that's like going to school, man. I mean, that's some serious knowledge, and the man was very knowledgeable and still is to this day knowledgeable about the trucks and stuff. It's just amazing.
yeah. His mindset on shocks. He's really intelligent when it comes to shocks.
Uh huh.
It, People could learn a lot by listening to him talk about valving and stuff inside shocks. And then it wasn't just Jim. You could call anybody at the shop at any time if you had a question.
Uh huh.
And, the motor guys, even the other mechanics, Dan, Larry, anybody, they was always really helpful if you
Right.
needed any. So that was just the team spirit, basically the way they done things.
Right.
So
So, what was it like going from Paul's trucks, which were decent trucks, don't get me wrong, into a Bigfoot truck, man? I mean, that first time you were behind the wheel of that Bigfoot truck compared to Paul's trucks, it got to be the difference between night and day.
yeah, the just the having the spare parts if you broke stuff, because there was a lot of times when I worked for Paul we didn't necessarily have a whole bunch of spare parts
Uh
in
huh.
certain apps. Well, Bigfoot made sure you had everything you needed. But when I worked for Paul, I drove the belly dragger truck, like I said, which at that time was a 526 Hemi. We'll go on to a 572 Ford with power drive was a lot different.
Uh huh.
But the biggest advantage a Bigfoot truck had was their braking systems.
Uh huh.
But um, them trucks put down the power too, though.
Oh yeah.
And they just work. The like I said, the mechanics, the hours, the endless hours they spent on them in the shop every week. You had a dependable piece every week. So, you know, when I was working for Paul, me and Charlie was teamed in a trailer together. So, but we was our own mechanics, our own fabricators, and all that stuff. And when I went to work at Bigfoot, I had to make sure my trailer was straight, which was different. I wasn't having to do everything else to the truck too.
Right.
But man, them trucks just work. Like the all the knowledge that goes into a Bigfoot truck, the years of experience, and then of course the fan base because of the name on the truck.
Uh
Like there's high expectations, like we talked about, just driving a Bigfoot truck.
huh. So, working through the Bigfoot organization, who was the one that you thought, wow, I'm sitting here driving for Bigfoot, but I'm learning from, who would that be?
Uh, I, Dan Runny probably because he was always the man. So like in in the era that I really watched monster trucks and was a fan before I got to start driving,
Right.
Dan was the guy to beat. And then learning from Jim, I learned a lot from Jim, and he's got a lot of stories too.
Oh,
And then
it was a great interview when we interviewed him.
and then getting to talk to Bob himself,
Uh huh.
because kind of starstruck the first time you meet Bob because all the history and stuff.
That's
So
the truth. And we were in Pocatello, and it's the first time that I met Bob, and we all went out to dinner. We went to this Mexican food restaurant, and I got to sit next to Bob Chandler, and I'm just sitting here going, my God, this is so cool, being a Bigfoot kid growing up and stuff like that, and of course I was more in the Kramer era and stuff like that. But here's the man himself, and we're sitting down at this restaurant, and he leans, and I don't know if this is true. I mean, if he was not, if he was pulling my leg, but he was Bob Chandler, so I'm going to believe anything he says. And he goes, "What's this burrito thing? I've never had a burrito before in my life." I was like, "No, Bob, come on, you've had a burrito." And he goes, "No, really, I haven't had a burrito." And we just kind of bonded over a burrito, and I mean, even that shows that I hadn't seen him in a couple years. He'd come up and say, "Man, how you doing? It's so good to see you." And he was just he's such a great guy. I mean, he just treats you so well, and he's just such a wealth of knowledge about how his business is run and stuff like that. It's amazing.
yeah, he actually the first conversation me and him ever had after I went to work for Bigfoot was about owls, the bird owls,
Uh huh.
but no, and that he is a wealth of knowledge though. But like like I said, I was kind of starstruck initially in that conversation, but he uh he has a certain standard he wanted things done, but that's it was just the expectations. Like you said, he's a wealth of knowledge on his business and how it's run.
Right.
So
So, what is it like behind the wheel at a show when the main guy is in the building watching you drive his truck? Man, is that's got to be a little pressure on you, doesn't it?
yeah, because you don't want to let him down, and of course
Right.
you don't want to let the fans down either.
Right.
So you you try to do as good as you can. So
Yeah. Well, you have to, or you feel that you do.
yeah,
For sure. But so, what was one of your most memorable shows that you did in your career? I mean, besides over in Poland and stuff like that in the States, where you were like, man, everything was just dialed in and everything just did good, and you were the man.
I I don't know. I had never really thought about it. I had some good shows in Texas for Monster X.
Uh
That
huh.
was actually the first time I ever won racing in a Bigfoot truck was in Texas.
What, down in
Uh,
Abilene, or where was it? Maybe Lubbock, Amarillo.
no,
We did Amarillo. We did Lubbock. Where else did we do? Oh man, El Paso. We did El Paso.
like it was El Paso.
Was it
So yeah, I
crazy?
believe so.
Crazy little arena.
Yeah, so it got high walls in it, I think.
Yes,
So
it does. Guaranteed.
that but yeah, I had Kramer down there with me that weekend, and everything I felt was going good. So, and
Uh-huh.
that was would come off a rough weekend of the show before where it actually broke the roll pin that went through the timing gear,
Oh, wow.
and we it took us a little bit to figure that out, and I ended up missing freestyle that night, and I felt really bad because I let the fans down.
Uh-huh.
And the next morning when we got it figured out, it's like, well, now we know, and it was a learning lesson for me because I knew next time if I had that issue to check there first. But that next weekend is pretty dialed in, and it felt real good. And then I left off that show feeling real good, and went back through St. Louis, and then went out to Maryland, and that was the weekend I rolled over. It was my first rollover in a monster truck. So I
Uh-huh.
went from being on top of the world to to doing some chassis damage and some body damage on a truck. So
Uh-huh.
so not now Bigfoot was real cool about that stuff. They would always made sure you was all right and stuff, but
Sure.
it was like, man, I can't believe I done that to that truck. So
Right.
it, so
And then you got to call in and tell them, hey, last night was kind of a bad night. I rolled the truck and this damage. And do they automatically after something like a rollover, do they automatically say, okay, after this show, you need to bring the truck in so we can go through it?
um yeah, not an automatic because a lot of times you going back to the shop anyway because St. Louis was pretty centrally based, so
Sure.
you're passing through. But on that particular rollover, Rick Disharoon owns a fabrication shop out there, and his guys helped me get some work done to get a sway bar back on the truck and stuff, so I could run the next night because it was a Friday night and two shows on Saturday, and I rolled over on Friday night. So,
Uh-huh. The
but
first night, yuck.
if it was a bad enough rollover, he was coming back to the shop, and they would move stuff around the way they needed to cover the next weekend if it was major chassis damage.
Right.
And when I had that night when I rolled 10 over, I rolled it over backwards, and the rear left quarter of the chassis I bent. So, but it was getting ready to come off the road anyway to get ready to go to England.
Uh-huh.
So that was a little bit of saving grace. Not that I wanted to damage their truck, but it didn't really jam up the rest of the schedule. Now the next year when I rolled 10 over, and they could they decided not to fix it, that left them kind of stressed in the schedule for a little bit because they was booking 7 or 8 race trucks, and then you go a race truck down. So, and I happened to be that was my first weekend of what should have been a 3 weekend road trip before I come back to the shop.
Uh-huh.
Ended up having to come back to the shop early. So
That's not a good taste in your mouth when you got to come back and and
no,
everybody's opening the doors just to see what really the damage is and expecting the worst or whatever.
yeah. So, but like it's to make that phone call. It wasn't it wasn't no big deal. So
Right. Well, communicate. They understand that it's not always going to go perfect. In any kind of racing, it's not always going to go perfect. Something's going to happen. Sooner or later, and it happens to everybody. I mean, it happened to the Dan Runtes, it happened to the Kramers, happened to the Tax, it happened to everybody. And just one of those things, man. I mean, that old saying, Rubbin's racing or whatever is really kind of true. It's just the way it
yeah,
is. But you definitely make a crowd please, like you said. They want to see the carnage and different things like that. So uh, and a guy don't like to do it that way. He wants to do it on his driving skill and his merit and stuff like that. Did you ever think you're getting ready to roll over and you saved it and you think, damn, that was close?
Um, yeah, there was a couple times. One time was in that same building in Maryland the next year.
Uh-huh.
Was able to set it back down.
Uh-huh.
And then there was one time I worked for Paul. I thought I was going to go over in that Rampage truck, and somehow I got it set back down. That truck was fairly forgiving.
Right, right. You know,
Uh,
Rod Wood's on here. And Rod, you make me laugh because I've been there at a couple of those. He said at least he didn't roll over on an intros like I did a few times.
yeah.
Oh my God, we've had some crazy stuff, man, for sure. But Rod Wood, is good to see you on here. Same with you, Sam Ditto, for sure. But and Rod, I got to get a hold of you, man. You need to private message me your phone number because we got to hear from you too, man. That's I've lost so many numbers, and I need to get a hold of you. So please send your number private message to me if you would, please, sir. So, but yeah, that's funny. Anyway, let's just take a few seconds here, and as usual, about this time, we always play the song that I create for the driver, and I already know if it's Rod Wood's song. Somehow I gotta put in there. Who let the dogs out? I don't know how I'm going to do that without copyright infringements, man. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and play JR's song right here. It's called Monster Miles. We'll be right back here on Pedal to the Metal Motors and Music.
Born in a Rivertown, Madison lights. The Hot Wheels racing on the floor every night. Bike tires humming down old back roads. Dreaming about a life nobody knows. Past that yard where the tow rigs sleep. Eminem towing secrets to keep. Saw stumble sitting tall in the sun. That's where the fire had just begun. From dirt tracks to a four-wheel dream, they started calling me JR on the scene. JR on the Monster Mile, chasing dust and living wild. Stealing thunder, crowd goes loud. From a small town kid to the roar of the crowd. Yeah, I burn that road for miles and miles. Out on the Monster Mile. Out on the Monster Mile. Basketball courts and muddy lanes. Learn real quick how to handle pain. Mud racing nights and busted hands. Built that fire no one understands. Charlie said, boy, you got the drive. Lit that spark deep down inside. Then Paul gave me my first real shot. Ride truck first, then racing a lot. Rampage rolling, belly dragging steel. That's when I knew it was real. JR on the Monster Mile, chasing dust and living wild. Stealing thunder, crowd goes loud. From a small town kid to the roar of the crowd. Yeah, I burn that road for miles and miles. Out on the Monster Mile. Yeah. the name. Crushing cars with the world watching on. Rolling hard and always gone across the ocean, foreign skies, polar nights and neon lights. Years on the road, never slowing down. Just me and that engine sound. Then one night it all came down. Twisted steel when I hit the ground. Sometimes the road don't let you choose. You win some roads, you lose some too. JR on the Monster Mile, chasing dust and living wild. Steel and thunder, crowd goes loud. From a small town kid to the roar of the crowd. Yeah, I burn that road for miles and miles. Out on the Monster Mile. Yeah, I'm back home now where the river runs. Working steel till the day is done. Got my boy in a simpler life. Trade the road for a little more right. Lifting trucks, helping folks ride tall. Still hear that engine call. Ladies rock on the radio dial. Still that fire, just older now. JR on the Monster Mile, chasing dreams that last a while. Steel and thunder still inside, even when the road goes quiet. Yeah, I drove that road for miles and miles. Out on the Monster Mile. Out on the Monster Mile.
There you go. I forgot that I put that little piece in there, man. I've made so many different songs here lately that it's kind of crazy. But no, guys, if you don't know, you see in here that's in the group chats and the comments, you see a gentleman by the name of Rod Wood. That's McGruff, the Crime Dog, and El Perro Loco. And we've had some good times too. That would be a good interview too. So I hope that you send me your number, my brother. But no, Jr. I tell you, this just to be considered a driver of Bigfoot is an amazing feat. But to be able to call yourself a driver of Bigfoot, that's that's a big accomplishment, man.
Yeah, it is. I was really fortunate in that aspect of the the right place at the right time for the interview with the right experience.
Uh
So
huh.
then to get to move on and race one of them trucks was a dream come true, experience of a lifetime for sure. So
Right now, I had a few weeks back. I had Josh Baumgartner on, and of course, Josh is driving one of the trucks that Bigfoot leases out. You know, the body and stuff. And he was telling me there was a big interview process that he had to go through. Did did they have that interview process when when you were first going out or started with them?
I so when they called me to come over for the interview, it was during first quarter, which of course is everybody's busy time.
Uh huh.
Um, I drove to St. Louis and met with Jim Kramer, and it was probably about a 2.5 hour interview process,
Uh huh.
and their expectations, and wanting to know experience, and then going back and forth over some stuff, like not in a bad way or anything, just talking back and forth, and then Jim took me down, showed me around the shop. Of course, you got telling stories and stuff, and time on because I was starstruck first time I met Jim too. I ain't gonna lie.
Uh
So
huh.
because you see him on TV growing up, and then he's standing right there in front of you, and
Yeah,
you
exactly.
you know, but it probably my experience helped me out where I was experienced helped me quite a bit in that aspect. So,
Sure, sure. Guaranteed.
and then
Go ahead.
he, or I was coming to drive one of their trucks versus they're putting the body on his truck, because the the safety standards and stuff that they uphold their stuff to. So,
Right.
they would want, if they're going to put their name on somebody else's truck, I would feel they would want it to be the same way as it would be if it was one of their own trucks. So,
Guaranteed. I have an auctioneer friend here, and I really never knew the reason why he called his auction company Bigfoot Auction Company, because he's a big guy and he does have a big foot. So I just kind of figured it was that. And he asked me one day, he said, "So you were in the monster truck business?" And I said, "Yeah, I was." And he said, "My favorite guy is Jim Kramer." And I said, "I know Jim very well." And he's like, "Oh, no, you don't." I said, "No, really, I do, man. I know Jim very well. In fact, let's call him." And Jim didn't answer the phone, so he never did get a chance to talk to him. And one day, Jim was coming through, him and his wife, and they were coming through Denver. And I said, he called, and I said, let's have breakfast together. And he said, okay. And I said, hey, I said, would you mind if I bring a fan with me? And he's, no, absolutely not. You can bring whoever you want. And so I called up my buddy and I said, what are you doing on Saturday, such and such? And he said, well, nothing anyway. Why? What's going on? I says, well, we're going to go to breakfast. And he said, well, I live clear out of town here in Byers, and you live clear in town. I said, it's going to be worth the drive. And he said, well, what do you mean? I says, well, you're going to get to have breakfast with Jim Kramer. And he said, oh, don't stop it, quit it. And when we got there and Jim drove up, this guy, I'd never seen a big man before in my life go to just tongue tied and couldn't talk and couldn't, but he was just in awe of the man that was there in front of him. And it is true, man. I mean, Jim just had that way of carrying himself that everybody just couldn't believe that, they were in front of him all the time.
yeah, he's really really humble too about everything.
Oh,
That
isn't he? Yes.
the one of the first trips I took with him, we ended up at the ConAg Expo show in Vegas for ZF, and then when we left there, we went to California to get a set of axles from Frank Scatini for Bigfoot 18 and bring back to the shop. It was a set that Bigfoot had sold him years earlier that he didn't want to use no longer, so they was buying them back. And
Uh-huh.
we'd come back, and I want to say we was almost back to Missouri, and we stopped at a truck stop. We went and got something to eat, and when we come out, there was a guy walked up to us in the parking lot, another truck driver, and he's like, "Are you guys the Bigfoot guy?" And we're like, "Yeah." And then he's like, "Well," he pointed to Jim. He said, "You're Jim Kramer." And, he was kind of starstruck. And when me and Jim climbed in the truck, we was talking about it, and he's humble about it. He's really humble. Like, he's done so much in the monster truck too, and he just he don't look at it as anything any extra or extraordinary, or he's just a normal person. So,
Yeah, guaranteed. Guaranteed. So there's a gentleman on here by the name of Wayne Norby Jr., and he asked the crash that you had with Bigfoot 10, the Odyssey battery body on it. Remembered there was somebody on the track at the same time as you are. You were driving and headed for the finish line. Is that the
hmm
reason why the wreck was?
um, so I come around the last turn. I hadn't raced that lane all night.
Uh huh.
It was the racing finals. I was I come around that last turn, and I was lined up on the last heel roll. So I had started to let out of it a little bit, but when I seen the gentleman running down the track, I tried to get the truck back to the ground so I had better control of it.
Uh huh.
And part of it was because I was going toward the wall. I had let completely out of it, but then once I seen him running down the wall, that was the biggest reason for the rollover. Yeah.
Uh huh.
So to
What?
try to, I was trying to get the truck back down, which was that was worst case scenario. I probably should have throttled through it maybe a little more, and I could have got well past the gentleman, but that I can't go back and change it. So,
Right. Exactly.
but yeah,
W- was that
that had
somebody
to
with
go.
the show, or was that somebody out of the stands?
It was the show official
Oh, it
for
was.
that particular promoter.
Uh
So
huh. You almost want to go over there and say, "Dang, man, what are you doing?" You know, I mean, we all know. Of course, you know when I started with Stanley back in the day, I worked with a lot with Crazy Charlie, and Crazy Charlie kind of sucked me into his
mhm.
act, you know, and we were out there while the trucks were running and doing stuff, and they were jumping over us and different things like that. And then I realized one day, I said, you know, this is not good, man. This is not good at all. And then I learned, you know, just to stay away completely off the track. But I thought that that's exactly how you had to do a show, man. Was you had to be on the track, you had to be part of the show, and man, I there was a lot of close calls, you know. I'm lucky. That's all I can say.
I think I think sometimes people get maybe too comfortable.
Yeah.
So and they had a GoPro on the finish line down there that night, so there wasn't. He realized it was going to be a close race, so he was running out there to call the finish line. But on the opposite side of the track, there was a GoPro on the finish line.
Uh huh.
There wasn't really no need for anybody to have been out there. So it it was an unfortunate event. So you know,
Right. Well.
but nobody got hurt,
Yeah.
and well, that was the positive outcome out of it. Is Bigfoot ended up going down the truck because that truck was the oldest truck in the fleet at the time, and in that particular rollover, the the front right corner got bent down 6 inches, I think it was. The rear left corner was bent down 5. So basically, opposite corners of the truck bent down. Busted the cage, ripped the drive shaft out of it. Uh, the rear end went completely to the left side, like it was shocks was rubbing the tires, which could have centered back up through the 4 link bars and stuff once I got them changed, and damaged the fuel cell also that
Wow.
night. So, but
That's a bad one.
the I worked on that truck. Well, Jack Cabernet was out there with me. He
Yeah.
was helping me. We worked on that truck till I don't know. It was about 5 or 6 that morning before we deemed it probably really wasn't going to be salvageable to race because that was on a Friday night too.
Right.
So
Yeah.
until it wasn't going to be really salvageable to race on Saturday. So
Right. And you know the kind of guy Jack is. If he says it's not salvageable, then there's no reason arguing, man. Because I've seen Jack put trucks together with bubble gum and hairspray, man. You know,
yeah.
and make them work. You know, and he was there for the next night. But you know, when somebody that had the experience like Jack Caberna did, God, I just miss the men so much. You know, him and Rocky were so good people to work shows with and stuff. But
Oh yeah.
if he couldn't make it work, there was nobody that was going to get it to work, man. Not at all.
No, that Dave Ramirez and a couple other guys was out there too, but me and Jack was the ones that ended up out there the longest,
Uh,
which was fine. But we just, like I said, it's about 5 o'clock in the morning when we figured it wasn't going to be raceable that next night. It just done too much damage, and then once we got it back to the Bigfoot shop, and you could really see what all was going on with it. That's when they deemed. I think it was 23 or 24 years old at the time.
uh huh.
That particular chassis was. It did. That was what 2015, and the truck debuted in '92.
Yeah,
So
it
he's
had seen
26
some
years
action.
old. Oh yeah, seen some action, seen a lot of different drivers.
Yeah.
Uh, there isn't much that truck hadn't done really. So
That's the truth, man. That's the truth. Well, you'll always be the one known as the man who retired 10, right?
yeah, yeah. So
That goes into
there-
your pedigree, I guess, you know. And
yeah,
and
there's
and
only a handful of us that have done it. So
yeah, I guess so. And Wayne said thank you to JR for explaining that. Because as fans, the fans don't really understand exactly, and then they hear through the Monster Mayhem or whatever back in the day, and well, this is what really happened, and it really wasn't, So the fans really don't have no idea, and when they get to hear it straight from the horse's mouth, it clears up a lot of untruths throughout the year that you've heard, and so that's great that you cleared that up for him. Um,
yeah,
so it really was, but no, I'll tell you, it's been a great business. You have friends for a lifetime. Do you still have people calling you when they go through town and seeing how you're doing and different things?
sometimes here and there. Sometimes you know, I've ended up back in St. Louis a couple times. More than likely going to try to go to the Bigfoot open house this year. I haven't made it to one since because it always seems like when it pops up, I'm busy at my current job, but I'm going to try to free up the time to go this year. So, but yeah, I still talk to people here and there inside the business. Not as much as I did like when I was in it, but yeah,
Right.
we still get out and touch base sometimes. So,
Well, I'll tell you what, it's you kind of when they call you kind of pick up where you left off in the conversation, when you guys left that night because it's just like me, I was fortunate enough to fly in on Thursday and then fly
mm,
out back out and be home on Sunday. And I mean, I went around and tried to tell everybody goodbye and thank you and everything like that. But you just you form that bond, and they become a family, man. It really does become a family, and then plus your son. Now, what is your son's name again?
Keegan,
How big is Keegan now?
um, he's he's 18 now.
Oh my God,
Graduated high school last year. And he's probably 6'2", so he's
you're
taller than I am.
shit me, man. Really?
No, he was the little guy when you seen him down
Yeah,
there.
he was down in Pikeville, wasn't it?
Yeah, yep,
Yeah. Wow, 6'2".
yep.
My goodness. Does he remember being on the road with you and stuff at some of them shows?
Um, Here and there, sometimes. Like one summer, he ended up in St. Louis with me for a couple weeks. He remembers that. He uh he remembers a little bit of it. Not as much as I wished he did sometimes,
Right.
but
Right.
he had fun at the time. So
Yeah. Do you miss it?
yeah, sometimes I do.
Uh-huh.
I miss I miss the people sometimes, like you said, you become family, and
Right.
then like you get busy and time slips away, and I miss the people and I miss the traveling, getting to see the country and stuff. So
Well,
it would be
go ahead.
it would be a good job to, I don't know, like I got a little age on me now, so I'd probably be a better suited for a display guy, I guess, than I would be a driver again. But
Right.
so. And I miss the adrenaline rush too. I ain't gonna lie about that either. So it's a huge adrenaline rush when you run them on them trucks. So
Yeah. I know it was tough for me that first year after I retired, man. Because everybody's calling you going, "Hey, where are you this year?" And stuff, and it was tough that first year, man. But I don't want to get in the airplane and fly no more, man. That was my deal. I just didn't. I didn't. The love for the show was still there, and for the fans was still there, but the love for getting on the airplanes, it left a long time ago, man, and it was more of a pain than anything. So I do, I do miss the show and the drivers and all that stuff and the people in the buildings and stuff because you even build a bond with the people in the buildings, don't you?
Oh yeah, yeah. So especially if it's a show that you're continuously doing year after year,
Yeah,
you get on a first name basis with them. So they become family too.
that's the
So
truth. Now we have a young lady on here. Her name's Carter Chiffon, and Carter wants to know what is the coolest thing he's done or has seen someone do, aka tricks or something like that.
uh, I don't. Dan making the long jump at Jamboree, and when Bigfoot took the world record back was probably the coolest thing that I had seen.
Uh huh.
So
And how far was
that
that jump again? I can't remember.
that one was 214 something, I think.
That's
So
crazy, man. That's crazy. I can remember sitting in my house watching Dan jump over the airplane,
yeah,
and I didn't know him at the time or anything like that, and then to really sit down and talk to him about how it was and he told me, he said the ramp wasn't that big. He said it just wasn't that big at all. It was kind of a small ramp, and but you think, God, this has got to be this monster ramp, but them trucks, they launch themselves, don't they?
yeah, yeah. I think the ramp at Jamboree that year that he made that jump up there was 4 foot tall at the peak and 15 foot wide.
Right.
Eh, like you think 4 foot's not very big, but it it's enough to do something like that with. I mean, look how far the truck jumped off of that. So
Yeah, that's the truth, man. What do you think about these kids nowadays in like Monster Jam and stuff, and the tricks and different things that they're doing with the trucks today?
I think it takes a lot of talent to be able to do that. The way they're walking the trucks on the nose and stuff, and a lot of talent, a lot of hand-eye coordination going on and stuff. That they're very talented. So
Well, I was talking to somebody, and I can't remember what interview it was, but I said all they did was perfect the crash. I mean, if you were on back in the day, if you were on your front wheels and looking at the dirt, you were going to go over, man. I mean, there was a bigger chance of you going over than there was of you saving it if it was that far over, And now here they are, riding that front stoppie and stopping and then going backwards and up over the jumps and stuff. I mean, it's just amazing what these trucks can do as far as even with the motors, what they have to do to keep more oil in the motor and different things. Because the laws of gravity and what they're doing, you're not supposed to be able to do that in a monster truck.
yeah, no, they're putting in a lot of effort to figure out how to keep how to keep doing stuff that you're not supposed to be able to do.
Right.
So, and to keep pushing the limits because ultimately at the end of the day, that people get tired of seeing the same thing over and over again.
Sure they do.
So you got to constantly change it up. But like the stoppies, man, I love these guys that are doing the donuts on the sidewalls, like and
Exactly.
being able to set it back down. That's real talent right there. So
Usually if you were on your sidewalls back in the day, the promoter had shut you off already and you didn't have a chance to get up
yeah,
on your to get back up. I mean, maybe the technology was there, but the promoter with the RII, you know, shut you off and you had no chance of getting back up there like that. But yeah, at first time I seen that, I was like, that is just completely crazy that they can get that kind of momentum and, and make that get back up on its wheels again.
yeah. And as a driver, your first instinct is when you're going over like that's to steer into it to try to bring it back and hope that the gyroscopic motion of the tires on the upper side's enough to help carry momentum back. But I was watching videos there the other day and seeing some guys doing donuts on their sidewalls, and it's like, man, that's completely unbelievable. So
Yeah.
they're they're talented. That's for sure. So,
Wayne Norby's on here right now again, and he said one of my favorite Bigfoot bodies that JR ran was the graffiti Bigfoot back in 2013. If I'm
hmm
not mistaken, I remember him coming to Front Royal, Virginia that year in Bigfoot 10. He put on one great performance.
that was actually the first race I ever done in a Bigfoot truck. Period.
Wow.
So, and that graffiti body, Nick, the painter at the shop, that was one of the first bodies that they said here, just do like you design this because they had designers and stuff, and they would give Nick the design and here we want you to put this in the paint, but that was kind of let him freestyle a little bit to show his skill. That body was actually all paint, so
Wow, that's
uh,
crazy.
yeah, that front royal Dave Ramirez was running that show for the fair out there, and that was the actual first race I'd ever done in a Bigfoot truck. So
Wow. And like you said, he was hand painting all those. The hours that he put in to get all the graphics and stuff now compared to the vinyl wraps that they put on. I mean, it was just amazing. And then you see these guys go out in the truck and it goes out the door brand new and it comes back and it's all tore up, man. That's got to be disheartening for you want to say an artist, putting his work out there.
yeah, but Nick put in a lot of hours on, and I mean he always kept all the Bigfoot trucks looking great in the era I was over there for him, and which I mean their trucks still look great, but he was the painter while I was there,
Sure.
and I never really heard him say that he got disheartened because of it, because he knew stuff happened, but he worked a lot of hours, and they would get him help, and then drivers would help him as they could too. But ultimately, when it come down to painting, he was the guy that was doing the paint. So,
Sure. Sure.
but he always tried to keep them looking as good as he can. And then, as a driver, it was always kind of you didn't want to make his job harder either. So,
Right. Well, that's true. That's
but
the truth, man. So, do you think monster trucks? We got two more questions to ask you, and then I know it's a couple hours difference, and you got to work tomorrow. So, but do you think the monster trucks have gone as far as they can go, or do you think there's something else for them to do that's a spectacular?
I don't think they've gone as far as they could go, but I don't think the the person has any certain person has figured out what else they can do because you're always going to keep pushing the limit. Like Tom Mintz a few years ago trying to do the double front flip, and you're always going to have somebody that's trying to push the limit of what they can do in a truck.
Right.
I don't know how much further they can go, but I don't think they're as far as they can go yet. So I think there'll be, even on the trucks themselves, the changes. So like in the '90s and 2000s, people wanted lighter trucks.
Right.
Now they're going back to heavier trucks, lower center of gravity. Like when Jimmy Cretin changed his suspension around on his bounty hunter truck, a lot of people, you know, you had a lot of naysayers, but then that truck just like
Right.
works real good in racing. So I don't know, I don't know where they could push the limits at, but I think there's more there. Just nobody's figured it out just yet. So
Well, I kind of have to agree with you. I've talked to several people. We had like Bobby Holman on and stuff here a few weeks back, and Bobby seemed to think that there's just there's nothing else that a monster truck's capable of doing. But in the same sense, is when Bobby first started in the monster truck business with the leaf spring stuff,
yeah,
uh, he thought at that time, this is it. There's nothing else going to happen. and then the progression of what the truck has done throughout the years is just a total amazement, you know. So yeah, I still think that there's some young kid out there that's a monster truck fan that's going to turn out working for Bigfoot or for Feld or for somebody, and he's going to come up with something, and people are going to say, "Wow, I just never seen that one coming."
Yeah, yeah, I agree 100%. So,
Exactly.
like I said, I don't know what it'll be, but it'll be something that just changes the game. I mean, you know, 10, 12 years ago, when I was driving a Bigfoot truck, I would have never thought people would be doing stoppies the way they are now. And
Right.
like you said, if if you was looking at the dirt out the front windshield, you was getting ready to have to make that phone call. You was going over. That was going to be a phone call to somebody.
That's the
So
truth, man. I mean, it's just they perfected wrecking, and that's all they've done, man. And which is good. That's a good thing, and it's an amazement. So,
yeah.
I guess my last question, and then we'll let you go so you can turn in for the night and stuff. Is in your out of your career and stuff, and if you can't answer it, I understand because I've had some guys that couldn't think of it. But what do you want to be remembered the most out of with your career in the monster truck business?
Mhm. I had never really put much thought on it. Like you said there earlier, that already going to be tied to being the guy that destroyed 10, so and retired. um, um, I don't know. I really haven't give much thought to it. I guess if I had anything to be remembered for, it'd just be being a guy that was a good driver, and a Bigfoot driver at the end, but not. I haven't given much thought to it. So
Well, that's fair enough, man. I mean, I hate to put everybody on the spot, but and I haven't had a lot of people answer that question because they never. It's just because everybody is humble, man. Everybody's so humble. They're not thinking of stuff like that, you know. What am I going to be remembered by? I mean, like people like Tom Mintz, he's going to be remembered by all the crazy stuff, the big air, the big tricks that he did in his trucks, and Max D, and then plus what he's taught these kids to do for Feld and stuff like that, and what they're doing now. That's a natural right there. But just the normal everyday monster truck driver. Not saying that driving for Bigfoot is just normal, but uh, that you just went out there and did your job, and you did your job well, and that was good enough, really.
well, I was really fortunate to have that job. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not everybody got the chance to have that job, so I was fortunate to be where I was at to begin with.
Right,
So,
exactly. Well, buddy, I really appreciate it, man. I really, really do. And if you can think of anybody that could be on the show and you have phone numbers or anything like that, I would appreciate you first okaying it with them, but let me know and I'll make the call. And I just want to share this sport through my eyes and through the drivers that I know's eyes, and let people hear the backstories, and just like with Rod Wood, if I ever get him on here, I mean, the biggest thing I ever remember with Rod Wood is that his mom in Tucson, she fed us all, man. She brought some amazing Mexican food out, and it was just a big time. And I mean, I remember that like it was yesterday, and I thank her for doing stuff like that. But everybody has uh, their own memories with me, and ours will always be Pikeville for sure.
yeah, yeah, there you go. One memory I got with you that I really liked was we was in California. I was crewing for Kyle Doyle, and when you offered the announcer out there that day, you wasn't announcing. You was there to just run the show,
Uh huh.
and you offered him extra money if he could keep the crowd on the edge of their seat. And then we hadn't even made it out of the pit party before you took over announcing. So it it just you always kept the crowd into it, man. You're really good at your craft.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
So,
that. I really
that
do.
was Pikeville was good memories, but that's one of my other favorite memories of you is that show out there. And then, well, like I said, we hadn't even made it out of the pit party, and you was announcing already. So
Well,
yeah,
I just like things done a certain way, and when I don't see them getting done that way, you got to kind of step in, especially when I had such a passion for uh, my job and the craft that it was. And I know people like Dave Gross, they had the same passion, and it's just, I always wanted to have some kind of a contest with announcers where you could see who the best announcer was or whatever. But that would be a hard one to judge because everybody had their own way of doing things that was totally spectacular in the eyes of the public. So, some of the stuff that I did, uh, people remember, like you and stuff, and then other people didn't give two shits about it, because it was just, hey, that announcer, he was there, and I don't even remember his name.
yeah, yep.
So that's what it is. Well, JR, you have yourself a good one. Be safe, and I hope our paths cross again one day, my friend, because I'd like to see you again in person and sit down and talk and have a beer, man.
Sounds good, buddy.
All right, brother. Thank you for coming on tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Anytime, man. Anytime. You're always welcome back.
Okay.
All right, guys. Well, just another great story, another great friend, and I was really, really happy to see Rod Wood in here, and I hope that Rod reaches out to me with his number because that was some good times. Rod and I had some good times on the road. And I got to run when McGruff, the crime dog, was out there, and it was a big name truck, man. I mean, and then El Perro Loco, that was another good one, and so I hopefully he'll call and we'll get a hold of him and get him on the show and stuff like that. But like I said, next month, get the calendar out here to make sure. Next month, next Wednesday, in fact, or this coming Wednesday on the 1st, is Mike Johnson, and he's going to be a hot rod builder out of California. Or no, not out of California, but back east someplace. I can't remember the town now. But anyway, Mike's going to be on talking to us about his hot rod career. That's another facet of the show. We want to talk to people in the car show business, the hot rod business, and different things like that. And then we got Scott Goodhue on the 5th for the Young Gun Auctioneers. And then another gentleman that's going to be at my car show in May on the 31st, and he's from Pueblo. He's a hot rodder down there. His name's Tony Janetta, and he's going to be on. And then on the 8th, man, if you guys missed the other two, I'm sorry, because those are both going to be both good shows, but you got to circle the 8th because Dave Gross is going to be on, man, and it's going to be a good show. It really is, man. It's going to be fun because I've never met the man, but his announcing style and mine were kind of the same, and he was a very energetic man. So that's going to be fun, and he worked with some of the people that I worked with and stuff. So I can't wait for that one. But since we're running early here, it's 8:39. We'll go ahead and we'll play something here. Let's go here into the playlist instead of just trying to pick one out of all those songs right here. My goodness here. What do we want to play? Let's do something out of the Black Tie Soul CD, and then I'll find a couple of the other ones here while we're playing it. So we'll go into the Black Tie Soul here, and we'll play one. Let's play C10 Soul right fast. This is C10 Soul right here on Pedal to the Metal, Motors and Music.
Candy apple paint dripping like a summer sunrise. Chrome so bright, you'd swear it lit up the night skies. Rolling down Main Street slow, heads turning on both sides. Everybody knew that truck, it was a king in disguise. From the first time that engine roared, it was destiny. You could feel that heartbeat thumping like a southern melody. Didn't matter who was driving, it was bigger than a man. The C10 had a purpose, and the whole world knew it ran. Oh, you could hear the people say, there goes greatness on four wheels. It ain't just steel, it feels that C10 had soul, baby, deep down in his frame. Oh, born to shine, born to fly, everybody knew his name. No matter where he rode, he stole the show every time. A champion in chrome, with a legacy divine. Oh, that C10, yeah. The C10 had soul. Trophies line the shelf, everywhere the truck will go. From county fairs to city lights, undefeated glory shows. Kids would run up smiling, dreaming about the day they'd sit behind a steering wheel and maybe drive away. But legends don't grow old, nah, they only grow true. And every scar in the paint told a story that it flew. Not just horsepower, but heart, grit, and pride. The C10 wasn't a ride, it was a spirit on the inside. Every time that motor sang, crowds would gather just to feel that rumble real. Unreal, yeah. That C10 had soul, baby, deep down in his frame. Oh, born to shine, born to fly, everybody knew his name. Oh, no matter where he rode, he stole the show every time. Oh, a champion in chrome, with a legacy divine. Oh, that C10, yeah, yeah, that C10 has soul, yeah. Even when the years rolled on and the cheers grew quiet, that truck still whispered memories to the ones who stood by it. 'Cause legends never die, they just settle in a time, waiting for the next dreamer to bring back that shine. Hey, that C10 has soul. Ooh, yeah, C10 has oh, that C10, oh, that C10, ooh, that C10 had soul, yeah. And it'll never, never, never let go.
There you go, man. C10 Soul. We haven't played a lot of stuff off the Vindication ride in a while. I mean, in the Black Tie Soul. So I'm going to go ahead and play a few more of these, and then we'll call it a night. This next one here is called Vindication Ride, and this is the reason why I created Black Tie Soul was because I wanted to create a soul album, number one, and I wanted to create a soul album about automobiles. I happen to have a lot of really good friends in Colorado that have cars that are beautiful, and I wanted to create this album of would you be proud enough to drive this car to a black tie event? I mean, when you and your lady are dressed to the nines out there and you're looking good, would you rather roll up in a limo or would you rather roll up in this hot rod where everybody says, "Oh, damn, that's cool, man." So that's the reason why I made Black Tie Soul. So this next song here is called Vindication Ride, and this is a buddy of mine, Little Rich. He found this car a long time ago, and it's an Eldorado convertible, and he used it for a while and loved it and all that, and then he fell on hard times and he had to sell it. Well, one day he was looking through the marketplace or something like that, and you know, he found that car that he had, so he bought it and he redid it, and I mean he really redid it and made it just a beautiful car. And I asked him one day, I said, "Real Rich, can we?" In fact, his brother Raul is the one that introduced us, and I said, "Can I use your car in this song?" And he said, "Oh, in this album?" He said, "Absolutely." And Rich was he's a rock and roller. He wanted me to do it in something like, you know, Steven Tyler or something like that. I said, "No, that's not what this album's about." I said, "You got to trust me on this one." And when I played it, he was just amazed at what I did for his car. So this one right here is called Vindication Ride. We'll be right back here on Pedal to the Metal, Motors and Music.
76 Eldorado, 18-inch wheels, base model no more. Reborn front to back, motor, transmission, suspension, interior, everything. Gunmetal gray, burgundy top, she shines like victory. And when she rolls, I roll. Back in '94, I saw her standing in the sun, white with that red interior. That's when the love begun. Taught my baby girl to drive, her small hands on the wheel. Every mile felt like forever, every moment felt so real.
But life can cut you deep, leave you broken, hollow inside. Had to let her go to survive, but Lord, I cried.
But we came back, stronger than before. Yeah, we came back, two hearts restored. You can break a man down, but you can't kill his pride. Now every mile we roll is a vindication ride. Ooh, vindication ride. 12 years later, I was looking, though I tried to keep it cool. Craigslist on the iPad, just a dream I shouldn't do. Then I saw her in the Ford Collins, tire paint broken down. But my heart knew her the second that she spun around. I walked away the first time, tried to tell myself it's wrong. But Viva Las Vegas hit my spirit, and I knew where I belonged.
2 years of rebuilding, every inch and every line. And when that burgundy top dropped, man, I knew she was mine.
Yes, we came back, stronger than before. Oh, we came back, two hearts restored. Took a long dark road, but we found the other side. Every mile we roll is a vindication ride.
my son, Highway 1. No more running from the race. San Francisco sunrise, LA waves kissing the car. San Diego nights, Phoenix heat. We came so far. They see the car,
They see the man,
they feel the scars.
we still stand,
Life tried to break us.
but we survive.
Look at us riding.
Look at us alive.
Yeah, we came back stronger than before. Oh, we came back, two hearts restored. You can take my money, take my time, take my pride, but you can't touch the way I feel on that midnight ride. Ooh. 19 years together, and we're still rolling strong. And if she sold one day, that means her drive was gone. Until that moment, every road is home. And every night we ride as one.
There you go, man. Vindication Ride. As many of you can tell, I really like that song, man. I really, really like that song a lot. It's just, it's one of those ones that it just flows, man. It just really flows. And like Sam Ditto said, you know, he's walking in slow mo roller. That's my brother from another mother, Sam Ditto in the house, man. Let's see here. Let's go one more here in. We'll play one more here. This one here happens to be after my love for Corvettes. My grandpa, when I was growing up as a kid, had a 1960 Corvette, and it was Honduras red and just tuxedo black interior, man. And this car, in fact, I have the tattoo on my arm of the car right here, and it's just what started me in the hot rod business. I was lucky enough as a young man to grow up in the car business with my father, seen a lot of things there. But my grandfather and my uncle Bill, they had some cool cars, man. My uncle Bill had a 66 or 65 Ford Mustang Fastback, and it was black and just it was a beautiful car. But my grandpa had a lot of beautiful cars, and this 60 Corvette was one that I just absolutely loved. And growing up, I always told him, Grandpa, I want that car when I get old enough. And he's like, okay, the car's yours. It was awful funny. I got my license, and about a week later, my grandpa sold the car. So I don't know what was going on there. I think there was false promises made. I never did ask him, but I sure did try for probably, I don't know, I tried for 4 or 5 years to try to find that car. I could never get a VIN number, but I had a license plate. And the guy that bought it was in the Air Force up here in Colorado Springs. And I couldn't find any information on him or anything like that, you know. So anyway, this one here is called Honduras Red Under a Velvet Moon. We'll be right back here on Pedal to the Metal, Motors and Music.
Velvet moon, Honduras red. A lady glides tonight. Has a night and day. She is a 1960 Corvette. This lady glides into the room, turning heads, shining in the ballroom, chrome gleaming under soft ballroom lights, diamonds on her feet, rolling through the night.
Tuxedo black inside, seats for two. Knockoff wheels with white walls shining through.
Styling removable hardtop, hidden luxuries. She's a dream come alive in bright stainless gleam.
Seats for two under that velvet moon. She's warm inside and a cool mystery too. Honduras red under a velvet moon.
She's the only lady tonight for me. Two-tone curves with a constant pain, chrome-plated rocker moldings, there's no complaint.
No complaint.
283 V8, fuel injection roar, 315 horsepower, she wants more. Power glide transmission, she rolls with grace.
She goes with grace.
Every head turns when she enters the place, dressed in mirrors and velvet,
Gliding like a dream.
gliding like a dream.
She is a 1960 Corvette.
She's my queen.
Seat for two under that velvet moon. She's warm inside and a cool mystery too. Honduras red under a velvet moon.
She's the only lady tonight for me. Oh, whether she's trackside,
Whether she's in the hall,
she's the only lady.
she's the only call.
Soft leather, chrome shining, diamonds on her feet.
Rolling under the velvet moon.
Oh, it's so sweet. Yeah.
Seat for two under that velvet moon.
Oh,
She's warm inside and a cool mystery too.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Honduras red under a velvet moon.
Oh, she's the only lady tonight for me. She's a 1960 Corvette.
Honduras red under a velvet moon.
My dream, my lady. She glides for me tonight.
Honduras red under a velvet moon.
Forever mine.
go, Honduras Red underneath a velvet moon. Boy, I tell you what, I love that car, man. Still do. Still have dreams. I don't understand what happened to it. I wish I did. Well, there's some of you that are in here that hadn't heard a couple of the new songs that were created over the last few days, and let's just play one here. Let's play this one again. She wanted me to sell my C10. We'll be right back here on Pedal the Metal, Motors and Music.
I was packing up my life for a brand new start. A little white church and a hopeful heart. She said a man don't need all this old stuff around. All those dusty memories stacked on the ground. Old concert shirts and a fishing pole. A toolbox worn from 1,000 rolls. She smiled sweet, but her words cut in. Said a married man don't live like this. She wanted me to sell my C10. Said it didn't fit the life we were in. Said a man my age should grow up somehow. Leave that old truck in the past right now. But that old C10's been a faithful friend through every mile and every bend. So I told that girl with a steady grin, honey, I ain't selling my C10. She said that truck's just rust and steel, but it's more than that behind the wheel. First kiss parked by a county road. First paycheck when I drove it home. Every dent's got a story to tell. Every mile's like a ringing bell of nights with friends in a small town sky. That old truck's where my years rolled by. She wanted me to sell my C10. Said it didn't fit the life we were in. Said a man my age should grow up somehow. Leave that old truck in the past right now. But that old C10's been a faithful friend through every mile and every bend. So I told that girl with a steady grin, honey, I ain't selling my C10. And then one night she drew the final line, said that old truck or this love of mine. I stood there thinking a minute or two about the road and the life I knew. I might never see another C10 again, but I'd see that girl every day till the end. So I grabbed my keys and I shut that door. Said, darling, you can head on down the road. Well, I was driving down the road the other day when I saw them pulled over on that old highway. Her and her new man in that electric ride broke down their eyes looking at me in disbelief. So I pulled my old C10 off to the side, asked them both if they needed a ride. They just stood there staring at me while I laughed and drove off in my old C10. Well, I found me a prettier gal with blonde hair and a smile that lights up everywhere. She loves the small block roar, and that old bench seat, and a 3-speed floor. She said, keep that truck, don't ever let it go. That old C10's got a heart and soul. And every time that engine runs, I know I made the right move back then. She wanted me to sell my C10, said it didn't fit the life we were in. Said a man my age should grow up somehow, leave that old truck in the past right now. But that old C10's been a faithful friend through every mile and every bend. And now I'm riding with a better woman, and my girl now she loves riding in my old C10.
You know, there's just some things in this world that you ain't gonna give up, man. That's all there is to it. I got my buddy in here, Raul Delatorre. Raul, if you're still in here, how did the Night Owls do at the big car show this weekend, man? I need to know that. Also, thank you for the roadie tune. I got to get that to him. I got to call, and the number that I have is just a house number because it would not let me send the tune to him. So I got to get that. But anyway, I had the pleasure last weekend of hanging out with two legends of the hot rod world here in Colorado. And one is my brother, number one lug nut, Raul Delatorre. He is the man behind the scenes at the Night Owls Car Club. And the other one is a gentleman by the name of Rody. And Rody is a professional pinstriper, body man. If you go on my Facebook page, you can see a car that he's working on now for himself. But I got to just hang out in the shop and listen to these guys talk and just be part of the conversation. And it was such fun for me that, Rody's done some work for me on my pedal cars that I make. He's done some stuff on my truck that I drive and different things like that. And I thought, I need to make Rody a song, man. I really do. And so anyway, this here song is called Rody's Lines. We'll be right back here on Pedal the Metal, and then we'll wish everybody a good night. We'll be right back here.
In a paint shop next to his house, under bright lights shining clean and white, hot rods rolling from miles around. When Rody lays a strap, man, the word gets around. A steady hand and a camel hair brush, one smooth line and the whole crowd hush. Candy red flames on a midnight ride, and a silver line dancing down the side. Rody's line, running straight and true, like a guitar string singing that rock and roll tune. From a Chevy to a Ford to a Merc so fine, every hot rod shines with the Rody's lines. Yeah, Rody's lines, smooth as a melody, running down steel like a rock guitar lead. When the cruisers roll under those street light signs, everybody knows those Rody lines. Flatheads rumble on a Saturday night, chrome shining under the driving light. A coupe rolls in with a brand new flame, but it ain't complete till Rody signs his name. One long pull and the crowd leans near. Nobody talks when the brush comes near. One steady curve and a final shine. Now that hot rod's wearing Rody's line. His shop sits right beside his house. Bright shop lights
shining all around, with overalls and a white t-shirt. That steady hand never slips or jerks. Striped panels hanging on the wall, flames and scrolls from years of them all. Every panel tells a story in time of the hot rods that wore rode his lines. Rode his lines, running straight and true, like a guitar string, singing that rock and roll tune. From a Chevy to a Ford to a Merc so fine, every hot rod shines with roadie lines. Yeah, roadie's lines, smooth as a melody, running down steel like a rock guitar lead. When the cruisers roll under those street light signs, everybody knows those roadie lines. From Denver streets to a highway show, hot rod legends all know where to go. One little brush and a little white paint turns cold steel into rolling saints. Roadie's lines, running straight and true, like a guitar string, singing that rock and roll tune. From a Chevy to a Ford to a Merc so fine, every hot rod shines with roadie's lines. Yeah, roadie's lines, smooth as a melody, running down steel like a rock guitar lead. When the engines roar and the red lights shine, you'll see those cars wearing roadie's lines.
You know, Raul, congratulations for the Night Owls. 4 out of 10 taking wins, and that's amazing, man. That is amazing. Guys, if you want to go see a cool car show, you need to put July 11th on your calendar and go check out the Night Owls. They've got a show that is just beyond imagination, man. Probably 300 cars, maybe. This will be my first year being there. I've just heard so many people talk about it, and Raul and I became friends last year over an interview that I did with him on his panel over at ACC and there in Castle Rock, and we just kind of hit it off. And you know, he's my number one lug nut right now, and he's a big inspiration in helping me do a lot of things, man. Getting my car show going down in Pueblo. I trust him for the knowledge that he has from the Night Owls and stuff, and he's another one that I'd walk through burning hell for, man. We are brothers together, I promise you that. And Raul, that one there, I don't know if I sent you both of Rhodey's songs, but that one was from the 50s, 60s era. I think I might have sent you one from the 60s and 70s era. But anyway, I'll look and see what I sent you, and then I'll send you the other one, and you can listen to it. But I definitely got to get a hold of Rhodey. Maybe we can go back over there or something and present it to him and see what he thinks about it. And then plus I got to get him on the show. But guys, I tell you what, I had a really good time tonight. It was really a good time talking to JR. I hadn't talked to him in a long time. And, you know, just another great driver in the Bigfoot era. And I am so thankful that these drivers are coming on the show and sharing their life stories with you. So, you know, it's just one of those things that, like I always tell you, it's something that I did in my lifetime that I am very proud of being there and watching the progression up to when I got out of the monster trucks and being able to to bring some of the best drivers there was in their day onto the show and let you hearing about them and stuff. You know, we've had some great interviews. And if any of you do follow the monster truck world, you know, you'll agree with me. when you have people on here like Jim Kramer and Bobby Holman and B.J. Johnson and stuff like that, you know, Jr. They all did something that made a name for them in the monster truck business, and it's just really cool to be able to bring that to you guys and bring you that part of my life. Don't forget about my show in Pueblo on May 31st. I know it's full, but if you're in the area, number one, Pueblo is a great car culture town. There's going to be some fabulous cars there. And I would imagine there's going to be some cars that park around the outside edges of the parking lot that can still be part of the show. But I can't let them officially inside because there's not going to be that much room. But if this thing turns out as good as it's looking like it's going to be, maybe next year we go even bigger and find a bigger place, you know. I just really look forward, but I really want you guys to circle the 11th of July on your calendars and try to make it over there. I'll get you an official address of where it's at, and come and see that car show with the Night Owls. So we'll all be over there. They got a great auction. That's what we're going to be a part of and stuff. I was going to bring the motorhome over there, but we had to kind of put the motorhome deal on the back burner for right now because of the gas prices and stuff like that. It's just not feasible to take that vehicle out and get it seen as much as I need to get it seen for the people that were going to buy sponsorships in it and stuff. So we haven't given up on it, I promise you that, but just the way it is, man. So I'm going to do one more song here, and then I'm going to go right into the outro of the show. And don't forget now, Sunday, or let's see here, not Sunday, but Wednesday we'll be talking to Mike Johnson. Mike's a hot rod builder, and we're going to be talking about his career in the hot rod business and stuff. And then we'll get into the young guns, and April's amongst us, man. April flowers bring May showers. So that's what we're all about. So anyone right here, I kind of like this one. This is one I made over the weekend, and this is called "I Won My Dream Car on a $2 scratch ticket." It's about a young man that had $2 left in his pocket, and he bought a scratch ticket, and the scratch ticket was for a '67 Corvette, a big 427 tri-power car, and this is a good one to end with, and then we'll get back here on Wednesday with more pedal to the metal, motors and music. Thanks to everybody that come in tonight. You know I love you all, and thanks to my guest JR for being on the show. And we'll see you down the road. See you in the same time next week. This is Roller. Talk to you later.
Stop for gas on a Friday night, $2 in my hand. Bought a scratch-off ticket at the counter, just a tired working man. Didn't think much when I scratched that silver under neon lights so dim. Then the clerk said, son, you better look again. That number's a winner, friend. I won my dream car on a $2 scratch ticket. Lord, I still can't believe my luck. A 1967 black Corvette with a red interior tub. 427 tri-power Thunder, 4-speed on the Florida drive, side pipe singing like a rock and roll band. 435 horses alive. Kelsey hay spinner, knockoff wheels, red line tires on the ground. Positive traction in the rear end when that big block lays it down. Heavy duty brakes and suspension, built like a street legal race. Leather seats and a telescope. traction in the rear end when that big block lays it down. Heavy duty brakes and suspension built like a street legal race. Leather seats and a telescopic wheel, man, that car had style and grace. I won my dream car on a $2 scratch ticket. Lord, I still can't believe my luck. A 1967 black Corvette with a red interior tub. 427 tri-power Thunder, 4-speed on the Florida drive. Side pipe singing like a rock and roll band. 435 horses alive. AM/FM playing old road songs, air conditioned, cool and sweet. Power windows rolling down slow when I cruise that summer street. People stare when the pipes start rumbling. Every gear that big block roars. Feels like heaven when I drop the clutch and let that L71 soar. Funny how life can change in seconds. From a dream you never expect. 2 little bucks and a scratch of silver turned into my dream Corvette. I won my dream car on a $2 scratch ticket. From a gas pump on Highway 9. Now I'm driving my black '67 Vet with that big block roaring fine. 427 tri-power Thunder, side pipes howling in the night. $2 gamble at a country store turned a dream into a ride.
Once again, congratulations to all the night owls that won first place at the big show, man. It was great to see that. I love it, man, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon. Thank you for tuning in again. This is Roller. We're out of here. Bye-bye.
All right, everyone, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Pedal to the Metal. I want to send out a huge thank you to each and every one of you for tuning in and supporting the show. I also want to thank all of our amazing sponsors. You're the ones that help keep the wheels turning, and we truly appreciate you. Be sure to join us every Wednesday and Sunday. We kick things off with music at 6 p.m. each night, and the full show starts at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Until next time, keep the pedal down, heads high, and we'll see you at the next show.